What? Am I not subscribed again?
Oh.
I might wait till we're live.
You can subscribe one.
Oh no, I've done the wrong thing. I've used the wrong overlay. You have to wait for it to come through properly.
We're playing for 911 viewers, apparently.
We're not. Hello, welcome to The Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob, and I'm joined by my other two Thursday co-hosts, both Nick and Tom. Hi, guys.
Both of us.
Yeah, both
Hello.
of them, bovine of you. How are you both?
I'm excellent. How are you?
That sounded enthusiastic.
I am also fine. Robot
excellent.
2 has replaced Nick. How are you, Tom?
I'm alright, mate. I'm good.
Yeah. And how is everyone on Twitch? Hi to a big shout out to all the ladies watching. As I know, according to the demographic analytic research study that has been done on Twitch, Thursdays is our most popular female show.
Of course it is. I don't know why you're surprised.
For the ladies, apparently 40. Clemmy B says evening, Clemmy B. Boy Phil, hi Space Wolves, hi Full Greener. Also, if you're watching live on Facebook right now or on YouTube, this is what I look like when I'm in this chair, and that's what Tom and Nick look like. There you go. Yeah, these are the people.
Like. Yeah.
Nikos has said hi. Hi Greco. I see post-it notes. That's right. There's a lot of research going on today.
Oh yes,
Lots
Tom's. Yeah.
I've been
Tabs. You've been
very
tabbing up.
professional.
Mm.
Yeah, look at that. Well, all of mine's digitalised.
I even brought in the professional Warlord traits sheets that went alongside the professional.
Have you
Codex.
not unprofessionally PVA glued it into your printed book?
I have not. I want to keep it pristine.
So wherever you're watching us, we're only taking questions on Twitch. So twitch.tv/JosWargamer if you guys want to join us. But if you want to watch it on Facebook or YouTube and you're enjoying it, then just do that.
We just want to ask how you are or take your questions.
Yeah, I like taking questions. And it's also lovely when people like Datcom, good evening gang, has subscribed for 8 months in a row. And it's because of people like Datcom and everyone else who's a subscriber and everyone who's donated and everyone on Patreon who lets us do our show free and impartial without ever having to bow down to the man. That's right. Tom, how do you feel about the man?
Myself.
Huh?
What is the man's name, then?
What if you're the man?
What if I'm the man?
I think if you bow down to yourself, it has to be in a mirror. That's a different evening.
That's
That's a different...
That's you cleaning parts of yourself you wouldn't normally see.
Yeah. It's hard to do.
You need a big mirror.
Yeah.
So we've had some questions straight away. Felonious Skunk, howdy from Texas. Hi, Felonious Skunk.
Howdy.
Clemmy B, stick that bad boy in, says Clemmy B. Talking about not the bowing to yourself. Talking about...
Are you sure there's not a delay on this stream?
I don't think so. There definitely is a delay. There always is.
All right, let's 1 second. All right, I've got a Warlord traits post-it.
Don't do that right now, though.
I'm putting the Warlord traits in. Put that bad boy in, mate. All right, let's put it in. I think I've put it too close to the centre, though. This is a problem.
Right, so, LV, I saw some Roblins on the other stream earlier today.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
Was
true.
there?
So, there's some gossip, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So, before we go any further, 40k, everyone in the Twitch chat, everyone around the world, everyone on the podcast, how's your week been? Hope you're well. Hope you've had a successful week. And if you haven't, don't worry. It will get better. And always feel free to talk to us if you need someone to talk to. What have you guys been up to?
Well, I played some Kill Team last weekend.
Holy fuckaroonie. Tell me about it.
It was quite good fun. So we had 3 games overall. I used my Tau Breacher team, which is quite fun.
Are they ones with shotguns?
Yeah. Pretty cool models. I painted them up probably about a year ago when Shadow War Armageddon came out. Never played Shadow War Armageddon. And then I painted another Tau squad up for Necromunda and never played Necromunda. So it was quite nice to actually crack at getting on the table. So I had 3 games. I had a 3-player game, which was really fun, and then I had 2 1-player games.
Yeah.
And the people I played it with, we play Mordheim quite a lot. I love Mordheim. It's an awesome game. And
for you people out there that don't know what Mordheim is,
yes.
Mordheim is the progenitor of things like Kill Team. It's a small skirmish-based game.
Yeah, so it's based in Warhammer Fantasy. Back in the day, we couldn't pre-measure anything. You had to guess charges, things like that. And it's like, you have a war band of like 15 or so dudes. They can get injuries and upgrades throughout the campaign. It's got quite a good cult following.
well, talking about cult following, there's a couple of people in the chat who, if I was to design a kill team, I'd name them Chuck Butty TV. He'd be in my kill team, as would Ace Face, hi guys, and Orcboy Phil. We'll get to your questions in a sec. Sorry, keep going, Nick.
So the guys that I played it with, we play a lot more time, and we noticed so many similarities between Kill Team and More Time. So many tables that they'd used, and some of the different mechanics they'd used are very sort of reminiscent of More Time, which was quite nice and familiar to us. I enjoyed the three-way game much better.
I don't like games that are familiar to me. I like them to be new. I like them to be scary. I like to be confused.
I don't want.
I want every game to be like losing my virginity. I'm not sure, and I'm watching Braveheart.
During.
Okay. Give the speech while you.
Freedom. That's a true story. That's an emotionally honest story right there. But please continue.
Nice.
Sorry, Dick.
Nice. So I enjoyed the multiplayer game the most because the two. We had the 1v1 we had. The first one was basically, it was called Ambush, where my opponent had to basically escape off the board edge and I deployed on the board edge. And it was over at the start of the third turn because basically all he did was run all of his models, and then walk off the board. And all I did was shoot my entire army at his army twice and killed 2 models, and then he won. It was a really boring and unengaging game when nothing exciting happened.
Sounds like every scary
So I was a little bit upset with that mission. The second one where I had to assassinate his leader, which was a bit more fun. So overall, I quite liked it. I need to give it more. We need to give it more of a play, see if it's actually worth playing on.
That's the problem with all these Games Workshop side games, right? In my opinion, like Titanicus, right? I want the models. We've talked about it. We're going to play 40k, but we're going to play the 40k rule set just with the tiny senior models.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a huge amount of investment in time to actually work out. Because I've been reading a book at the minute about competitive gaming and competitive winning, not necessarily to do with Warhammer, just a book. I sent it to you guys, I think. And it's really interesting that actually some games just aren't worth your time learning how to play to a competitive or well, because ultimately they're flawed in some way. But it takes you to develop quite a high skill set to learn that, and then you still have to make sure you have to self-check yourself, right? Like, am I being a mardy bitch and I'm just shit? Like, you know,
sounds like League of Legends.
Yeah. Like, there's a bunch of like things that you got to work out before you even know if you're any good at it, which is why I'm probably only going to stick to the 2 main systems.
I'm not personally interested in playing Kill Team competitively at all, because what I found in the first game that we played, I really enjoyed because there's a lot less. There's less shooting, less things happening. And what I really enjoyed is getting into the cinematic roleplay aspect of the game, because there was one point where my friend Paul, he's got Eldar. So he had a sniper on a bridge and he shot my leader.
Just one? Oh,
he
had the character. Oh.
2 snipers, yeah. Just 2 snipers, and he shot my leader with his sniper.
Yeah.
And I had the drones in the tower Kill Team. They can basically just dive in front of hits. You don't have to make a roll at all, they just dive in. So the sniper got a hit, it got a wound, and it got a 6. So it did a mortal wound and then an armor save. Mm-hmm. So my drone got in the way of one of the shots, but then my leader took a hit from the non-mortal wound hit. And I just enjoyed the cinematic nature of it, because I could picture that in my head of the drone flying in the way, getting in the way of the shot, but the shot going right through the drone, killing it, and then still hitting my leader, which was quite fun. So I'm not bothered about playing it competitively. I think it's just a fun little game.
It's a game though, right? Like,
Sorry?
All games competitive.
Oh yeah, you can play competitive, but
like
still.
D&D's not a game, is it?
I don't think
it's an event.
It's a game that you're playing with people rather than against people, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fascinating. Well, worth a whole conversation at some point. But good fun?
Yeah, good fun, yeah. I'm not sure if it'll replace More Time.
Some of the guys in the chat, I just want to say hi to them. I'm sorry. Specifically, LOV has gifted a couple of people subs, including Ace Face and
Good.
Matt Lloyds has also subscribed to Twitch Prime, which is really cool, meaning that they can
Sweet.
go on to other streams of note over the course of this weekend and spam the Roblin emoji.
I
whenever
heard
you
other
publish it.
streams may have disabled sub-only mode. Sub-only mode.
Yes.
So you can spam Roblins in their chat.
Oh, really?
They have.
I think we will be doing a raid at the end of this show.
Definitely will be.
That's a guarantee. I should remember the / for what the channel is, as I made it. So
Yes.
that should be fine.
Yes.
Hi, Banjo Unchained. And if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, we'll be taking questions only on Twitch. But feel free to watch it wherever you're watching it. That's fine. Tom, have you done any Warhammer recently?
I played a game with my Space Wolves on Saturday. So I literally turned up with a tub full of Space Wolves to Warhammer World, made a list there, and played with it, which was a lot of fun. I played against Sisters of Battle, which was good.
Nice.
And
Oh,
then,
nice.
Yeah, it was really good. And then bumped into Max and Cole.
Mac Barton.
Yep.
Fucking babe, innit?
Very good. Yep. And then I played another game on Tuesday with my Knights against a Witch Covens list.
Can I talk about Max? This is Max Barton.
Yeah.
He won first heat.
The second heat.
Second heat, 40k of this cycle round.
Last cycle.
Last cycle round, in fact.
Sorry.
Yeah, with his Eldar. No, that's fine. Good.
I
Yeah,
can do
fact
it.
check all day. But important thing to note about Max is he's incredibly cuddly and friendly.
He is cuddly.
But inside, he's like a fucking ninja full of spikes. And that's like, he's dangerously smart while also really, really kind. Like
He's a good dude.
Yeah. He's kind of like, I just like him. Thinks nice one.
Yeah.
Is he got a suit of hidden knives?
Nice. Like this. Apparently, I'm going to stream today with a shank or a little file. I might do some filing down.
Careful, the police might come and confiscate it.
So yeah, Tom, what else should we be doing?
I played against Witch Covens with my ETC list for a league, and I got turn 1 and killed 7 units.
Oh, lovely.
And that was that.
Congratulations.
And then all the witches is got out and punched my knights and did nothing on me all day. So,
that'll
yeah.
teach you.
Mm.
Yeah. That was about that. So.
I realise it's only a few weeks until the heats, so
Yep.
I'm writing myself a. I'm going to try. I'll be real quick with this, but I'm going to try really hard at both Age of Sigmar and 40k over the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is I'm developing myself a book based off some videos I've been watching and some guides I've been watching and some books I've been reading, and it's going to go on the Patreon. But it's basically going to be a lot to do with some of the stuff we talked about with last week with the terminology, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. But I think there's an amazing amount of prep work you could probably do before a tournament, which I previously have never ever done. I just kind of turn up cold and just.
So, could you give examples of that prep work? What do you mean?
So go through a good example would be to go through the mission pack, and to think about how we'll deploy, and then think about a variety of armies that I think I'm likely to face. Let's say all knights.
Okay, yeah.
Drukhari, and then just even if it comes down to physically and mechanically practicing and deploying it myself. Some people might think, oh, that's quite sad, but for me, I'd like to try and learn. There's that thing where you've got to you've actually got to commit to actually trying.
Yes.
Like I'm still going to be, if I fuck up and I lose, that's fine. Yeah. But, and I'm still going to be as pleasant as I can be on the table, like I like to be. But at the same time, I'm going to try, to change my skill level. Because, one of the books I've been reading has been that there are 3 skill levels: beginner, intermediate, and advanced.
Yeah.
And I'd say that there are almost no advanced players in either game system.
Yeah.
And that's not me saying that I'd like to become an advanced player. I think I'm probably the bridge between beginner and intermediate.
Okay, a 40k or AOS?
Both.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think list design has got a huge impact on both of those two things.
Okay.
But skills on the tabletop are things people practice less, because in some situations your list was just better than your opponent's list.
Right.
So you need to work less hard on the tabletop.
Or it was a good matchup, yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and keep practicing regardless of what the culmination is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've been writing myself a list of questions. Some of them, like I turn up at the tabletop and a bunch of other things. So that's what I've been working on this week. I know that sounds a little bit OTT.
No, it's good. It's good.
But it would also be really fun. And I'm hoping as a journey, it's something I'm going to show all the Patreon guys. I'm hoping as a journey, it's something maybe I can improve over the next year. And I could be like, well, these are the questions. And try to make it non-army specific. So like I could give you a copy of the book, and you could say, all right, I'm going to ask myself a bunch of questions. How many practice games have I had? Do I know the mission? Like, how many tournaments have you ever been to where you actually didn't know the mission packs before you got there.
I think a lot of tournaments it's considered cheating to actually read the tournament pack before Saturday.
Yeah, each tournament pack.
So when you say there's a difference between knowing and understanding, right? So
yes,
one could say that when I went to Nova, I didn't know the tournament pack because I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't realise that tabling someone didn't mean you auto won, for example. And I hadn't played in any events even remotely similar to that before, so I had no idea what I was kind of doing with the tournament pack, right? So I saw what the missions were, and I was like, okay, but I didn't really get the details or understand fully or appreciate exactly how that works.
You could read through the missions and know them.
Yeah.
So you played through them, you might not understand.
Right, but then it depends on how you define knowing, right? Because I'd forgotten a bunch of stuff that I hadn't even seen. Like,
yeah, whereas like, so some people would say that you, Tom, maybe would be in that, it would be in that advanced level that you can turn up having read literally nothing, yeah, and be able to compete fairly well, yeah. But I would more argue that like your underpreparedness does mark a beginner, and I consider myself to be in that. Like, it's not a jab or a jibe.
Oh no, of course.
It's more. I don't know how many of us actually seriously commit to trying.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. So, would it be better to change the terminology from advanced, intermediate, beginner to full try hard to not caring at all?
Yes.
I don't know. Something better than that, obviously, but.
Yeah, I'm still going to give my friend, the guys who I play rerolls.
Yeah.
But I'd like to, so one of the things that defines a beginner is that they win because the other person makes mistakes. And an intermediate is you make no mistakes and you punish your opponent's mistakes.
Right.
And it's only when you go from intermediate to advanced, in advanced, you make your opponent make mistakes or you do winning actions. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the so you have to actually go quite far by just like not fucking up. How many times have you played the game where you've just not, like, where you go, well, I fucked up that turn, but that's fine, they didn't exploit it or something. Like, that's, you know, we all tend to float around that area, and I think that's to do with playing our armies for flipping between armies a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas I think over the course of the year, but anyway,
you can start people like try hard and what have you that kind of suck, but equally you can have people that kind of suck, like, who are potentially more advanced, not really trying at all. So it's just more of a mindset thing, I don't know.
But exciting, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to, like, I don't get a pen and paper out and like drawing out my like deployments and stuff. And obviously
I've done that before I don't think I've done it for 40k, but I've definitely done it for Age of Sigmar, where there's a fixed deployment map for the missions.
Yes.
So I go, what is my army? How am I going to? Obviously, I might change it depending on what I'm playing, but if I was 100 times if I could have done it, how do I think best my army deploys? It's quite nice to go into that mission with an idea in your mind of how you might do it, but then you've got to have that flexibility to go, well, actually, if I do it that way, that's not going to work.
Well, have you ever done that with objectives? That's another question. Like Tom, if we were to sit down, I'm sure you'd be up for it, Nikos, you would as well. If we were to sit there with objective markers, we just roll like, okay, this time you're going first. Cool. All right, I'm going here and here. Cool, and I'm going to put them here and here. Discuss why. Why have you done that? Cool. Flip it around. Change who goes first. Flip table sides. Flip deployment map. You can run that 100 times in an evening between the two of you, and really start to get right. I know exactly where I will. And then as you switch tables, there's going to be so many variety of tables. Like, okay, there's this really useful piece of scenery, and maybe not making that mistake. Where have you ever done that? Where there's that piece of scenery that's got the line sight blocking. That lines up a bit of terrain, you're like, I want that. That's going to be really good, or it's really good cover for your Devastator squads or something. So that's where you put the objective. But realistically, you should have maybe deployed it deeper or a little bit closer. But the terrain has made you make those decisions, and you've acted too quickly. Like, have you ever done that? I feel I have, definitely.
I tend to. I don't think I at the minute sort of think that deeply about placing the objectives when I'm doing that. I tend to just spread it out. I go, I don't really know I'm going to deploy yet at this stage, or where the deployment zones are. I tend to just spread them out. Like, if someone puts it in that corner, I'll put one in that corner. They put one in that corner, I'll put one in the other corner.
Well, it depends on how you build your list. So if you just built your list entirely about running around the Bloodletter Bomb, like, you're not going to spread out at all. You want them all in the same kind of clump, so you can go sit the Bloodletter Bomb in the middle of the board and go, ugh, these are mine.
Yeah, I think I have still done that with my Bloodletter Bomb.
Yeah.
I think because I've still got...
But you didn't place objectives with that in mind. You didn't place them all in one clump and say, right, I just want to stand still. I just want to control one small segment of the board and the more objectives there are in that kind of segment, the better, right? So it's like when you place your objective second, right? So let's say your opponent places one objective, then you place an objective right next to it. And then your opponent tries to spread them out a bit, but you've got 3 objectives that you just placed around your opponent's 1. So you've now got a small corner of the board where 4 objectives are. So if you just sit in that little corner, you don't even need to worry about the rest of the board. You've got more objectives than your opponent.
But what if they get that bit with the 4
Well, then it depends on the list.
Yeah.
So if they're taking like a multiple, an MSU style, which is terminology episode, they'll want to spread out a bit more, right? Whereas if you're taking like a Death Star or a brick or
I
something,
think that's
like
why I tend to spread them out, because I tend to play MSU style
right.
lists, so I tend to just spread them out.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, that's been my week anyway. I just thought I'd share with you.
Yes,
as well as keeping up with the news. So should we do the news? Because there was some news from Nova this weekend. But before that, I'm going to say hello to everyone. Ace Faces says he's all over spamming emojis in channels that he thinks would be amusing. Also, Chuckleberry says he's a year visit, talking about witches. It's completely different. DJ Batman's here in the room.
Batman's
Jonathan
here.
Etland. Hi, Jonathan. He's been painting models for Kill Team, but he says one of his models is a little bit too big, and that's because
I bet it is.
it is a Broodlord.
Ooh.
Slightly too big. Tom doesn't sound good to me. Tom, you just talk a sec.
That's okay. I moved my microphone after him.
Right, there we go.
Hello!
There we go. That's probably going to ruin something. And then Mr. Nuss is here. I try really hard and consider myself a beginner. I suck at a narrative game and it is my bag. I love tournaments, but I just suck at rank competitive lists. As Fluff drops it for me. So he loves a bit of narrative gaming. Which is absolutely fine.
What's
and
a narrative?
Encouraged. And I think should we announce it now? Should we tell everyone the secrets?
Secrets.
Not this week, but next week. No, not next week, but the week after. We're doing a thing.
Sure, yeah.
Should we tell them?
Yeah, go for it.
So not next Thursday. So that would be, let me just get the dates up for you guys. So not Thursday the 6th of September, but Thursday the 13th of September. Prepare your narrative selves, because Rob, Tom and Nikos will be taking a narrative adventure
Oh yeah.
into the realm of Warhammer 40,000, where Nikos will be running you're the DM.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And me and Tom are his delightful companions. We're playing different characters, and we're
very different characters.
And we're playing a bit of live 40k roleplay.
Yeah. Should be fun.
If you guys are excited about that, so
It's going to be interesting to do.
it's going to be interesting to do.
I'm a bit nervous about
Interesting
it.
with a capital int.
Yeah.
It will be, yeah.
Who can die the fastest?
I'll be interested to find out what style of D&D players you guys are.
Yes, me too. And Jonathan Etland, I want in. And then Ace Face, what's a narrative game? Hi, Hook and Pin.
We'll probably
Tom,
have,
apparently you've hurt some
probably have
tears.
space
I'm
for.
going to turn it down again.
I think they're taking. I think they're over exaggerating.
Oh, okay. All right.
We've probably got space for Jonathan if he wants to play a character. If Jonathan wants to play a character, we've probably got room for him if he can make
Jonathan
it.
Etland can at 100. If he wants to join us on a Thursday to be a special Swedish orc freebooter or whatever the hell he needs to be. Hi, Shamatane. My fellow miniature commanders. We should call ourselves that. We are miniature commanders. He does want to
that
join.
sounds really cool.
And Gozzy says you're a good DM.
Thanks, Gozzy. Yeah, he's in my Monday night group.
Oh, nice. Right, so Nova, the news from Nova last night, well, it depends. It was Thursday evening, realistically. Oh, no, sorry, Wednesday evening in the UK. So they announced a bunch of stuff. Do you know what it all was? And did you see?
They announced a very naked orc war boss on a buggy-looking thing.
So, yeah, so we've seen
the bike that we predicted a couple of weeks ago.
The bike that we predicted a few weeks ago is finally here. Yeah. So there's 3 types of war track and 2...
Death Killer war trike.
Yeah, some war trikes. Is he very naked?
I think he's pretty naked.
He's wearing a waistcoat. Nathan goes to sex dungeons in a waistcoat.
Let's go.
Is that more or less naked?
Did you say that live?
Yeah. I mean, they're not illegal.
No, I'm just surprised. I'm pretty certain, the guy at the front of the bike definitely doesn't have a shirt on.
You think?
I don't think so.
Let's do it. We're going to the Warhammer Community homepage.
Oh, good luck to all of us. Good luck to all of us.
Breaking news.
So we've got the Speed Freaks game.
We
can just scroll down and say news. Here we go. Here come that boy.
It's called Breaking Previews and Reveals.
Those are abs. Look at that. And this guy's shirtless as well. Look at that.
He's got a cool face mask though. If you guys are following along with us.
the driver.
These look him as well. Look at this bit. Like
That's just like an iron jaw.
I love he's saying he's naked on nerd scales. 3 war buggies and a war trike. Greco says, I had a thought today about the war boss war trike could be made into an orc war track. And OJ says a waistcoat equals 3+ invuln save. And I can't agree with him more. Yeah? If anything shouts war to me, it's a leather waistcoat and a fucking grinning
this
smile.
looks like it's been made for Japan.
Huh?
This looks like it's been made for Japan, just a massive waistcoats and the shirtless men.
Mate, it looks amazing.
It does look good. I like it.
But there is a fair piece of contention that I saw some people saying that obviously the wheel at the front is very non-40k. 40k, the background writers and everyone from Games Workshop works tirelessly to express just how incredibly dangerous even a mango may be in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Is that mango? No, it's actually the decapitated head of a wizard who now will burn your eyes out through your bum. Yeah? That's what every mango is. Huh?
Why does it have to be for your bum?
That's what I asked. Games Workshop is
Where's your mind going?
Fecally obsessed, I think, is the issue. But yeah, the wheels are a little bit like too clean and non-protected.
I mean, that front one has tusks on it.
Well, kind of, but not on the... I mean, look at the back wheels. The back wheels have got rimmed, serrated blades sticking out of them, and they're armoured. The front one just looks like a... That looks like your bike that you had as a kid just before your mum bought your new one.
So now this recording is really going to turn into the Pimp Wagon episode or whatever later. Until you see it then.
Because what do you think about that?
It's a good racing wheel, though.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's a good racing wheel.
It's got a base on it, though, Nicholas. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I don't like that. Well, that's, for a bike, it's okay. I don't like the bases for vehicles.
It's a very big bike or a very small vehicle.
It's definitely a bike. I don't mind bases for a bike, but for bigger vehicles, I'm not a fan.
Did you guys see the Deka strategy?
No. Is that a preview?
Hold on, we'll talk about that. Sorry, I just want to see what I feel like the war boss is basically Nathan. Painting on my Kill Team Commandos says Shell Mountain, Rambo Orc style. Orcs don't have to make sense, says Unicron John, this is very true. Which is very, very true.
That makes sense.
That
makes sense.
Ride Eternal and Chrome. And then on first, did you guys see the nod to Fury Road with the grot tied to the front?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, seen that.
I'm going to go for that they've gone very, very Mad Max.
They have.
I feel like a lot of the miniature guys really enjoyed that, right?
Yeah. Even the battle wagon that they have is kind of Mad Maxy.
While we're still on Orky models,
yeah.
Did you see the flying squig?
Yes.
Oh yes, from Shadespire.
The squidgeon.
Yeah, it looks like. So, what do you think of it?
It made me giggle.
Okay.
That's about it. I don't know whether I like it or not.
Every Warhammer player's reaction. Like, you know, if you took a group of non-Warhammer players, put them in a room, and then you showed them a variety of new squigs, they'd all go, But then if you showed a group of any Warhammer players, and you showed them new squigs, they'd all go, look at them squigs! What you doing?
It's like Nurglings and Goblins.
Warhammer players react to squigs like all normal people react to dogs.
You know how there's a kind of trend right now of everything just ends up on change.org?
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain there's already a petition to call that thing a squidgeon.
A squidgeon?
Is it?
A squidgeon.
Yes.
Okay. A squiggle, apparently. I think it looks like a bag of crap, personally.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't mind it. It's a bit cartoonish. The things on its head look very defined, but maybe that's just the paint job that they've done.
It might just be a Citadel thing.
But that's my opinion. I think the war track or the war buggy looks baller as hell. I really like that.
My favourite's the one that had the yellow paint job.
Yes.
Is that the one you're about?
Or just any. I like all of
them.
the
race car.
I think they all look great.
Is this so? Is this thing? This a new game that they're doing?
Yes. So
Speed Freaks.
Speed Freaks. They're releasing. Imagine.
Speed Freaks.
Imagine. I can explain to you exactly what it is. It's X-wing with bikes.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. Easy. Done. Not the Games Workshop. Allegedly.
These templates.
It's like X-wing with bikes. Not the Games Workshop would steal X-wing, just reskin it and then use.
Not the Games Workshop would steal
that would
anything.
be allegedly.
Yeah. And not like they basically take more time and turn it into Kill Team.
Allegedly, not like they take some pretty strong aesthetics from Mad Max and stick it into Orcs. Allegedly.
It's called inspiration.
Yes, there we go. So the new stratagem, Tom. So we found out some stuff about the Orc Codex that's coming up because of October, right?
October.
Is it even a stratagem or is it a universal special rule?
Huh? It's a universal special rule.
Oh, sweet. So it's not even a stratagem.
No.
Alright, so Daka. Each time you roll an unmodified 6 roll of a 6 for an attack with a ranged weapon made by a model in this unit, that hit roll succeeds regardless of any modifiers. In addition, immediately make an additional hit roll against the same target using the same weapon, and those can't generate extra hits. So it's a way of getting around armies that have the ability to stack multiple modifiers. So one thing I was doing was I was testing a lot of water spiders, because they can naturally generate when the part of a lace off a -2 to hit, which means orcs can never hit them. This gives you a way around that.
Well, when we move on to talking about the Space Wolf Codex, we might see minuses to hit a thing of the past, realistically, or there's at least now a good counter out there in the world.
Yeah. I'd be a fan of that. I think there's, I mean, I've played Alpha Legion quite a lot, and I go very tiresome of having to remind my opponent, oh, by the way, that's -1 to hit. Oh, by the way, I'm Alpha Legion, it's -1 to hit.
It's what you play out, I say. By the way, I'm -3 to hit. So you can see the look in their face and you continuously piss them
their
off.
face drops,
Yeah. There's nothing I can shoot at. Yeah.
So naturally hitting on 6s is obviously amazing with all the minuses, with all the DACA. But then again, it goes back, so some predictions. I've got a couple of things to say about the Orc Codex. Number one, there needs to be a massive points reduction for lots of the units for them even to be close to viable, in my humble opinion.
Like Deathcopters.
Like Deathcopters, Morkanauts,
Burner Boys.
the sensationally overpriced Stomper. Hashtag justice for Stomper. There needs to be some real point reductions. But I also got something else to say. Yeah. Like, where a lot of people are saying, oh, maybe it'll become the Orc meta once the Orc Codex has come out. I say that it's the Orc meta now if you stop being a little bitch and start using your Orcs again. Yeah? Right? That's my opinion, because I think they're already pretty fucking brilliant.
That's why I'm racing to paint mine.
Exactly. Or
as soon as I can.
You're a speed freak.
Yeah, speed painter freak.
Speed
painter freak.
I saw you dipping.
I'm not dipped in yet. They're
I know you
preparing for dipping though.
Prepare for launch.
Preparing for launch.
Hyrod says, I'm not sold on the Orc vehicles yet. They seem more well put together than the Imperium flying boxes. I always thought Orcs would throw gubbins together and I hope that it works. I agree with that. Because it's like this, a Stomper to a degree, but the Gorkanaut and Morkanaut, I think, are a good example of two models that look like they almost shouldn't work. They're kind of comical, and I can definitely see how people could criticise them as being like, well, that looks shit. But, they're comically, you're like, how does that even really work? But, because Orcs want it to work, right? Yeah. It doesn't have to be, tactical and precise like a Tau battlesuit, or, well put together like a piece of power armour. It almost shouldn't look well designed. Which must be hard to well design something
that should meant to look crap.
Yeah, that's got to be, but still has that. That's got to be a really hard remit to hit.
In the Fulgrim Horus Heresy book, Fulgrim's trying to learn how to sculpt when he has his master artisan try and teach him. When he teaches him, Fulgrim finishes his statue and he doesn't like it. And the artisan says, "Oh, it's too perfect. It needs to have some kind of imperfection to give it character."
Yeah, it's too real.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, narrative.
Orcs only. I also hate hit modifiers, says Surfer Dibs. I feel like all the mitigation should be done as a save or avoidance rolls rather than targeted at the player. Right, so 6s to hit with the Orcs. Orcs getting some cool shit, hopefully. Clan rules. But more on that in the future. Excited for the Orcs? Yes.
Yep, very excited.
3 very excited
very
people.
Excited.
A Twitch chat full of excited people. Not in any way controversial to me because I don't care, but Sisters of Battle, the Adeptus Sororitas, they showed us some work in progress of some head design.
I like those.
Good.
Really
Nikos?
The one with short hair looks a bit funny.
I love that one.
She looks too happy to be in battle.
They've all got short hair.
That's the middle one at the top.
Oh, right, okay. So one of the criticisms I saw online, and I don't care
I like the hooded
about
one.
this, is that they look like man's faces with wigs on. Then someone's retort was, they don't all have to be like the standardised European beauty centric that you imagine. And I was like, that's good, that's fine. And then I saw Black Klansman at the weekend. He's talking about like broad noses, big eyes. I was like, yeah, I find them beautiful. That's like a bunch of different stuff. And I was like, maybe just let people have faces. Most importantly, I think their hair shit. Say something.
I like the one in the bottom left because it looks like a nun.
Well, that's another thing I was thinking. Maybe
Yeah,
they
that
should
one.
all look like
Yeah, that one's
they should
very
all
cool.
look like
Nuns
the
with
nuns
guns.
from either Sister Act, or
What's that new like horror film coming out? Like The Nun or something?
Yeah, there is one.
Yeah. Should look like that.
should look like that. All of them,
They should
each
look
one.
like-
Terrifying.
The Nun from Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how we think. Thanks for subscribing. Woo woo. The eye patch girl looks amazing. For Green, I love my sisters, but all the old models don't have pretty faces either.
I don't play 40k to get a boner, thank you.
And yes, has anyone picked up the
Okay.
just another piece of so we'll cover the Nova news and I'll quickly talk about the Conquest magazine because that's been a bit of a
That's been fun.
it's been fun. Sisters of Battle. So then we found out that there's going to be a chapter approved 2018 edition.
Woo-woo.
Yay.
How about that? No one expected it with the
No.
2017 edition written on the front of the last one.
Yeah,
I thought they'd stop there.
yeah. And then there's a new type of knight coming out.
Oh, the special character guy.
Special character knight.
Special character man. It looks like he's got a laser destroyer.
It looks like he has the Atropos gun.
He does.
And he does have it.
Wow.
Which, don't forget, in melee,
It's
that gets to
amazing.
reroll to hit and reroll to wound against Titanic models.
Mm-mm.
You know how knights are basically space tractors?
Yeah.
This one looks like it's going to be rounding up cows and herding them.
It's like it's a
taser.
shock prod.
It's a taser, yeah.
I've got to say, he looks the most human-like of them all that I've seen so far. It's almost like he's got like a knife in a hand and he's just like, he's going to chop a bit of bread, cut down his
Chop a
tree.
bit off this Land Raider.
Yeah, this Land Raider's in my way. And they're even making a little dude that comes with him. So literally everything Forge World have done for their Imperial Knight range, they're ripping off and they're sticking on this guy.
Apart from the slightly taller knights that Forge World do.
Yeah, but you know they produced a little a little dude who rode inside of it, and he comes along with it.
That's cool. Yeah.
There's some Kill Team stuff, Nick, if you're interested. If I'm not. There's Sarah Kaiser.
There's the House Griffith.
There's a command roster for Kill Team.
Oh, for God's
Where's the one
sake.
for 40k? Give me.
No, it's already out, Tom.
But it doesn't
You
have
know how to
points
do
in
that.
No, it uses power levels.
it.
You can count to 100, Tom. You don't need it.
Could you? Hey, would you like to play this fairly complex game of Warhammer 40,000? Yes. Okay, but you may struggle to add up to 100 using power levels, so we'll make an app for that.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
The 2,000
Don't
points
worry.
are fine. Those are men of culture, I don't know. Like, and ladies. But what was I going to say? What was the thing, I've had never done that. I'll tell you later. It's not
Okay.
It's not
Also, Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress, new Chaos Marines cough, apparently, according to Mr. Tumnus. I think most importantly, they said chapter approval is coming out every year, Greco. Yeah, we know. That's why it's not news, right? They're like, we're releasing this! Like we do.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Really helpful.
The sun is setting tomorrow morning.
They should have called the last one 2018 and this one 2019 like FIFA.
I agreed. Maybe they'll do a
The,
double on
the
us.
27 edition is already out of date like 3 weeks in.
Yeah.
It's 2018 now.
I still anyway, yes, I agree. But yes. So yeah, a new Chaos thing is coming out.
Yeah.
And then, so that's fine. I'm excited about that. I like it when they do box sets like Silver Tower. When there's just a bunch of miniatures you can purchase in like a single box. That's always really cool. You know, like unique miniatures. I think that's fun.
Turn signals on a Land Raider.
What?
Turn signals on a Land Raider, bud.
What do you mean?
What?
Didn't you remember this? Scroll back up. They're doing the classic webcomic from 140k. Turn signals on a Land Raider.
Oh yes, they're bringing that book. They're bringing back that magazine. And Sarah Kaiser, who's a really talented, she does all of the artwork that you see for the community site. She's got her own webcomic called Vainglorious, and that should be fairly exciting because I think she's a really great talent. Like she's passionate about the hobby and has been way before she worked for Games Workshop. She's a great artist, so that should be really good. I'm actually excited about that. Then there's Realm of Chaos, which is probably to do with Beastman and a bunch of other stuff.
Looking forward to that too. I like Beastman.
Yeah, and then Blackstone Fortress for years. Blah blah blah. Warhammer Quest allows you to visit Sinister Labyrinth, Silver Tower. So it's a different type of Silver Tower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just an add-on, or is it?
Does that have Nighthawk?
No, it's a Warhammer
it does.
40,000 version.
Oh, okay.
It's a Warhammer 40,000 version. So yet again, another box set of a new game you can pick up and learn for £100 and play.
Most people just buy those things for models, don't they?
Which is what I'm excited about personally. I'm excited about that personally. Like, I do like it when they make them. I'm like, that's cool. That's a whole bunch of really like neat models. I don't know.
I kind of wish they'd just sell them without the game for like a little bit cheaper. Though.
Games Workshop, because
Well,
It's argue they didn't want to talk about their game for quite a few.
I know.
They also don't run workshops. I don't know if you know about that.
no. Well, they just
here's a box of models. Here's
model
rules.
floggers.
Yeah, model floggers.
Model floggers. Games Workshop's new name. Games Workshop.
Just
aka
leave the game alone.
Modelfloggers.tm. Yeah, the new model floggers.
Copyright.
DJ Batman, can she do people as goblins? Maybe she can, but Unicron's John's job is to do them as
He's
goblins.
got that section of the market
Cornered.
He's got that cornered. Chaos versus Rogue Trader in Warhammer Quest. I'm just buying it for all the new Chaos stuff in one go, says Mr. Tumnus. Yeah, for me, that's something I'm very excited about. I am a tad privy to some of the backstory, and I think it might say in that story, but I think the Black Fortresses are
Blackstone Fortresses, yeah.
they're effectively like abandoned. They might be abandoned Necron kind of like they're maybe even before that. They're old way stations that are it's like every temple in every.
But like
Is it off-world then?
Yeah, they're in space, floating pyramids in space.
But like Borg
Like a
cubes.
petrol station.
Yeah, an abandoned
petrol
station.
Service station.
An abandoned service station in a
in
horror
space.
movie. Then you go and loot it for supplies.
Okay.
Yeah, which is quite a cool setting, I think, for a battlefield.
I thought Abaddon had one.
Huh?
I thought Abaddon had some, but weren't necessarily abandoned petrol stations. He just had them. They were his.
I don't know, your narrative, Tom, man, you tell us.
Okay, I thought they were like the never mind, Cadia thing. Alright.
I don't know.
It's fine. In the Gathering Storm. What's the Gathering Storm stuff called?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is Gathering Storm. Never mind.
Abaddon had 3.
Did
Interesting.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So they're back.
he?
Sure.
There you go. Yeah.
And then
They're back.
they're back.
Because it was in the first Gathering Storm.
Does that mean Abaddon's in some of them?
Well, it's the only place he's going to be safe. Like, giving Cultist Fearless for his Blackstone boy. It's like, that's a big-ass 12-inch bubble. Like, projecting from the side of his Blackstone Fortress.
Yes. By the way, if anyone's watching on Twitch or Facebook, YouTube or Facebook, we are taking questions on Twitch. But please join us. Do they have a Burger King meals for £18 like all good abandoned service stations?
18?
Yeah. And the only place you can buy Krispy Kremes in the UK. Although we've got our own shop now. So that's all the stuff from Nova. And Nova is currently ongoing. They've got, they're doing some live coverage.
Doing round
a
2
la
of the
Warhammer
Invitational.
Live.
We're in round 2 of the Invitational right now.
Round 2 of something. And we've seen, and they've got some new commentators. They've hired in some ringers.
Ringers in control.
Ringers, yeah. Mr. Jeff Robinson and Frankie Giamatti.
GM Papa.
Yeah, Giampapa. That's how you say his
Rose
name.
has gone off to watch the stream.
Yeah. Pardon me? I'll just Facebook him. I'm like, Frankie, I called you a knob on the internet.
No, I was
going, fuck you, Rob.
I wasn't saying anything about Frankie.
Frankie's great. Frankie's real nice.
I've not really spoken to Frankie.
He's real nice.
Yeah.
Reese and Frankie are great.
I've spoken to Reese quite a bit.
Yeah. Anyway, they're doing some live coverage. I watched a bit today. They did real well for 2 rounds. And then...
As soon as I left the stream, it was just...
Well, then
This is done.
I felt like they started to wane.
flag a little bit.
Yeah, flag a little bit, which is fair because it's their first run at it, and they've only got to do 9 more hours today. So good luck to them.
And then 3 more days after that.
And
right?
then 3 more days after that. I'm excited.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
They nailed them 2 rounds though. I have to say, I enjoyed listening for a bit today. Yeah, like as the person that set that channel up and that thing, I enjoyed it. I was like, finally, you don't have to listen to that idiot talk. Yeah, and it was 2 people who knew stuff about 40k, and it was semi-interesting for at least 45 minutes to an hour. Like,
Especially with like Nick's list, so it's kind of difficult to keep that going. So what happens when Nick takes all his stuff, lobs it in your face, you then kill his stuff, and Nick wins on points.
yeah,
I do, yeah.
There. I just covered 3 hours. That was it.
Yeah, but you need to make those 3 hours more entertaining.
Exactly. Yeah. But I need to stretch out those 2 sentences.
So good luck to those. Yeah, good luck to those
Seems
2
a
over the weekend.
slow
I'll be rooting
play.
for them and watching on some of the days. Really hoping, hoping they're really good. That's what I'm really hoping. Because the community deserves to get really good coverage of these 40,000 events, right?
Yeah,
so I'm very excited. Me personally, so good luck, boys, good luck, gents. I'll be in there. I'm going to type in. We'll stream. We're going to raid them anyway later on the Twitch show. So
I need to get that Wi-Fi sorted on my phone so I can just spam Roblins. Ready to go.
Right, so that's everything. I think Warhammer 40,000 news-wise, unless there's anything else we need to talk about. Anything else? Nova this weekend. There's a big event in Tom. What's the exact numbers on Nova?
I think it's 256 in the Open. Or it was when I was there. And then the Invitational is 32.
Ooh.
Then it's single elimination, so as soon as you lose...
Right. Is it knockout?
It's knockout.
Knockout Warhammer, that's pretty exciting.
I got knocked out by an illegal list.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. And the illegal list made it all the way to the final. And then they discovered it was illegal and basically conceded the final, so there was no stream.
Just want to say thank you to
sucks.
Frozen Zilu, who has just, I think, become a Patreon member.
Woo woo!
Or he subscribed to the Twitch channel. I don't really know which one's done. We got a pop-up anyway. But thank you. What a nice man.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mr. Matty Jim Bob Jr. What a great guy. You met Matty?
No idea who he is.
He's great.
Sorry.
I think you're being a bit mean, and you should support all forms of games. So there.
What are you talking about, Matt?
I'm very honest about get them off the telly. Do we know if the terrain is all the same standard as the table they are streaming?
Yeah, it's the same kind of template, so you have 2 big L's in the centre of the board, like London GT.
Yeah.
It is London GT terrain, but nice looking.
London GT terrain, but nice looking.
Yes.
Interesting. Can I just say this? Isn't everything London GT terrain plus nice looking? Like, wouldn't it either just be London GT terrain?
It's either for me to it's easy for me to kind of like bash on that and like continue this overall joke. But
Why?
the terrain
It's fun.
I know,
Everyone
I know,
likes it.
But the terrain was actually functional.
Yeah, it was. You make a really solid point. I'm not disagreeing with you, and it makes sense. But everyone enjoys hearing it.
Yeah, everyone just loves bashing on it. Everyone does love bashing it, to be fair. Like.
Oh, Retta Santi, thanks for the 100 bits.
bashable.
And he also did a little dog emoji.
That's a Frank Z.
So, Codex Phil, I'm not racist, I just killed the ball grids that were closest. Wait, what? That would be one of my that'd be Phil who I played, I think Phil had Tyranids.
First game.
Yeah, first game. Have you met Codex Phil?
I was just sat there just bodying people.
He's hilarious. He's hilarious and a giant racist because he kills all the black ball grids first, so.
Well, you could be racist because you put them there to die first.
Excuse
so
me, I'm a narrative gamer.
You're throwing
There
them
is
under the
no
bus.
way the Imperium would have the white Bullgrims and the black Bullgrims fight together. Yeah?
Then you beat up his Xenos.
That's true.
xenophobe.
That's true. I don't really know how it works. Salamanders aren't a chapter along with the Blood Angels, are they, Nikos? Answer me that.
What do you mean they aren't? They aren't with them.
Ooh, ooh.
Right, so that's the news, yeah, and I'm trying to just segue on because I think I might have dug a hole and I'd like to ostracise myself. So the thing that we're really here for
Have
today...
you done a bit of a howler?
Yeah, nice. Thanks. I can hear the moon calling to our next segment, which is... Yes, our overview.
God, I hit the microphone.
Hit the microphone. Fucking hell.
Professional.
I mean, even when you
hi,
don't
Phil.
put it on the side here, like, I've got to bash it. Like,
So we're going to do an overview of, and first time we've done an overview of the Codex in a while, of the Space Wolf Codex.
I haven't had a Codex in a while, but to be fair, the last one was nice.
And we've not even done that yet, have we?
No, we haven't done that.
Yeah, but
It's pretty boring. It's just 4 big lads, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, big fellas.
Just a
4 big fellas
big
with guns.
flamer.
Yeah. So, Space Wolves, who's excited? Me, everyone that watches the TV show Vikings. Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Bethenberg.
I'm excited for Vikings. That's coming back now.
Yeah, exciting. Vikings is coming back.
Soon.
Can we do a small segment when Vikings come back about the episode that week every week?
Yeah.
Because it's really good.
Can we do the same about Preacher? Because, oh my god.
Season 3.
The last episode I watched was fucking so good.
I've seen neither of those.
So
But most
good.
importantly, Big Mouth Season 2 is coming back. If you
Oh
watch
yeah,
that.
that's good. Yeah,
Big Mouth's really good.
Is that the animation?
Yeah.
yeah. There's like
Yeah,
a
the
puberty
really filthy
monster,
one.
isn't there?
Yeah, it's really good. Jonathan Utland still here, says Vikings, aka Big Brother Sweden. So he's our own personal honest wargamer Viking. And I suppose our own Space Wolf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Vikings, right. Preacher, read the comic, you fucks, says Unicorn John. I've not read it, but apparently
Not
it's
read
good.
it, but the show's amazing.
Have I seen Final Space? Do you mean the Gary?
What was that?
The Gary! You need to watch Final Space as well.
I have
because
need
of
to
the
watch.
fucking Gary.
You just need to make me a
Do you
list.
know
of
what?
things I need to
Actually,
watch.
you know the squig that they've released for Shadespire, the red squig?
Is that a flying one?
He looks like the Gary if you painted him green.
The squidgeon.
No,
Yeah.
that's not the Gary.
He kind of looks like the Gary.
No, the Gary's the human.
No, the Gary is the...
No, that's not the Gary.
What's he called? Oh, he's called Chukti.
That's what he says. I can't remember what he's called. He's called like... I can't remember what he's called now.
Fuck, anyway. Yeah, the human's the Gary, you're right. I've messed that up. Yeah, that's Chukti. Is it? Is
Yeah.
it?
Chocolate.
Mooncake. His name's
Mooncake. Yeah, Mooncake.
This has really got away from us.
Mooncake.
Right, Codex Space
What a
Wolves.
segment. I mean, what a segue. This
What a
is.
segment, though. Hierarchy, but there was a question about 3 hours ago
Okay.
asking, can you take an all Dreadnought Space Wolf list? Tom, your thoughts?
Yes, you can.
Ooh.
Should you? I personally wouldn't recommend it, but if you want to.
That was such a, don't piss on people's hobby there. That's what that was.
Yeah.
Oh, Codex Phil, thanks
No,
for
it's
subscribing. Oh, Codex Phil.
I wouldn't, but people can.
That's real nice of you. And Big Goldfish has also subscribed. Big Old Fish. The Big Goldfish.
Big.
You can't read.
The big gold.
That's true. That makes doing Codex reviews so much harder than you'd think.
It's okay. I'll do the reading. You can do the that's cool. And then we'll just carry on.
Subscribe for 6 months. Thanks very much. And Ace thinks Preacher is amazing as well.
So good.
It's on Netflix, right?
Ace, when can we talk about that thing, Ace? I'm asking him a question. It's a
Oh, sorry.
question.
Yeah.
Or-
Just cover what lead.
and is Moon Tyranid here? Ooh, Moon Tyranid.
Multi-grade.
Who's Moon Tyranid?
Wasn't. Never mind.
I
It
met
was.
Moon Tyranid.
Wasn't-
Met him.
Oh, no, I was just joking.
Oh, right,
It's the
okay.
name thing.
Right. Space Wolves.
Space Wolves.
What are they?
Hero Hammer is what they are.
Yeah, that's true. But before we get to the nuts and bolts of the rules, if people didn't know what Space Wolves were before, could you describe them in a paragraph? Tom?
Space Wolves are a Space Marine Legion turned chapter that is very Scandinavian, old style Scandinavian like. They are space Vikings, and their gene seed is pretty unstable, and they're really aggressive and like mid to short range fighting.
Okay, great. Nikos, anything to add?
The Space Marines with lots of wolf tails and wolf skulls adorned upon their armour.
They're hairy boy, and they don't like magic or
Like
planes.
beards.
They don't like magic or planes, and the best two things in the book are magic and planes.
That's true. That's true. So there's a couple of things to kick it off straight away. You know, that you would do one of those memes, and it would be like, Peter hate them,
They
boys
do.
love them. Codex
do.
Space Wolves.
Peter do hate them.
Yes, they are. Peter do hate them. They're covered in fur. They're a Space Marine Legion and not a chapter.
Yeah, they tried to make some. I think they tried to make some successor chapters at one point, and they were pretty crap because their gene seed is a bit rubbish. It has a chance of turning them into wolves.
Yes, it does.
So all the Fenrisian wolves, they're not actually wolves. They're people who were tried to turn into Space Marines, and it just went a bit too far.
Yeah, there's a famous quote, isn't there, from For Fenris, which is their home planet, which is there are no wolves on Fenris.
Yes.
So then everyone asks, where do you get the wolves? From the Thunder Wolves or the Cybernetic Wolves or any of those things?
Yeah.
So their Primarch is, of course...
No, it's not Logan Grimnar. It's Lehman Russ.
Oh, Jesus.
Oopsie. Logan Grimnar sucks. So,
yeah, so they have... so yeah, that Lehman Russ, who... do you know where we know where Lehman Russ is currently in the story?
is he in the warp or something?
Yeah, he's in the warp.
Yeah, he's in the warp. He went off to fight chaos on his own.
Just
He
because
got
he
his
felt
own?
like it.
Yeah, like a bad man.
He went for the day.
Huh?
That went for the day.
Apparently, Jonathan Upton says Lehman is such a white trash name in Sweden, So interesting goss there.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he went off. He famously, they have a tete-a-tete with another Space Marine Legion.
Called the Dark Angels.
Thousand Suns, no?
That's the biggest one.
They don't like Dark Angels either.
Well, they don't like Dark Angels either, but I think they glassed the entire planet for the Thousand Suns and turned them to chaos.
Yes, they did.
That's more of the tete-a-tete.
Okay.
But Dark Angels still they're not fans of.
No.
Yeah. And Magnus did do something wrong.
Yes, he
Yeah. Fucking salty bitch. And Dude Day also was donated 100 bits when it got his vote fund.
Yes!
Every week.
We're getting there.
We're getting there, one at a
Can we
time.
afford a vault yet?
Pardon me?
Can we afford a vault yet?
Can we? I don't
Close,
know. I'll have to
halfway.
check back on the bits. 100 bits is, while very thankful, Dude Day isn't tons.
It all adds up, though.
I'm not. I'm not.
By the
saying-
time we can afford 3, the new Necron Codex will be out.
And then there'll be shit.
Vaults will be shit.
And then there'll be obelisks. And I'm
And vaults are cool now. Yeah.
obelisk. Man.
Codex Phil Space Marines were well known for their ferocity and their defiance of authority. This is due to them being made up of diverse ranges of savage and hyper-violent tribesmen from Terra. Either Codex Phil is just great on the typo, or he's just copy and paste that
Out the wiki.
out of the wiki.
And then read it aloud on YouTube for hundreds of thousands of views.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Good job. Oh wait, no. Oh, do you mean he's Arch Warhammer?
Maybe, I don't know.
That was Tom threw a shade out at another content creator.
Wow.
It's fine. He is not.
Wow.
I never throw shade at content creators. I just throw shade at Americans, and I can't do that anymore. So I need to find a new target.
I can no longer insult the North American competitive
I
scene.
can't.
So now I need
It's like,
someone else who I
They
can
did well,
insult.
man. Swedes, get them.
They're pretty scary. I wouldn't. So that's basically the story. They stayed loyal during the Horus Heresy.
Yes.
They turned allegiance to chaos. The burning of Prospero was their fault. Russ was definitely to blame for that. There might be #spoilers. So
There may or may not be.
there might be something in the latest Horus Heresy book, which I'm not 100% certain on, that alludes to Horus telling Russ to go and attack Magnus, because the Emperor specifically told him not
To do it.
to do it, not to kill them. He just told them to bring Magnus back. It didn't say kill all of his sons, which would make anyone pissy, right?
And Horus
Codex,
told
I
them to
literally spent a whole day finding out the backstories of all legions in the Worlds and Primarchs. Oh, nice.
That's cool.
And also, Dude Day has donated 1 more 100 bonus vault bits. Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. There we go.
What a hero.
And then that's everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Nothing
think
else
so.
to say. They got loads of wolves. Yeah.
They're not wolves.
They're not wolves.
Man wolves.
Mad wolves. They've got the only. Is this right? They've got the only very genetically fucked up unit in the Space Marine codexes. Out of any.
Wolfen, yeah.
In the Wolfen, yeah, I'm talking about.
Depends how you define genetically fucked up.
Well, I suppose all of the Blood Angels are technically vampires.
Yeah.
But what I mean is they're the most outwardly aberrant
looking, yeah.
Space Marines in existence.
Yeah.
I think, unless there's some sort of weird side chapter.
They're almost chaos spawns.
Almost. I mean, yeah, they're definitely corrupted, right?
How about Minotaurs or something kind of weird looking?
Huh?
There's an entire Space Marine chapter that was just weird looking. It doesn't matter. We'll find it later.
Yeah. What about the Raven Guard? Do they have anything? They've got weird helmets. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think there was something about the Raven Guard, but I don't think
Raven
it's that.
Guard.
Yeah.
The Imperial Fists have obviously got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, in their incredibly boring nature, just stood on a wall. Just stood.
That's why
And
they're
then
bright.
he-
Stood.
So their
why they're
knees
bright
just
yellow.
seized
Their
it.
knees are just locked.
Locked
They have
in
no
straight
kneecaps.
positions.
You can't stab their knees. It's why they're bright yellow. Something's got to make them exciting.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Black Dragons, thank you, Nick Lambourne, and a Templar, hi, had arm bone sabers. That's
Ooh.
pretty cool.
Arm bone sabers.
All right, so I think that we've covered enough of the story. Traditionally blue.
Yes.
Yeah.
A grey,
Grey
like
blue.
baby boy blue.
Yeah, is their traditional colours.
Yep.
And they hail from the homeworld of Fenris, Primarch, obviously Lehman Russ, but currently led by their chapter master. Currently is
Logan Grimnar, who does not have a great sense of judgment.
He does not have the greatest sense of judgment. No, Logan Grim.
He can't even identify a demon weapon when he sees one.
And he chooses to ride around in a ridiculous chariot.
He does.
Right. So this is the first point of contention.
Bring up the picture.
No,
I
think it looks great.
I think you're mental.
Why?
I concur with
Why
Tom.
don't you think it looks good?
Look at this abomination. Let me just find this piece of crap. There was one picture.
It looks really good, man.
We've got to have a full page spread for this abomination. Look at that. Look at this.
Jesus.
Horrendous.
What is that?
Right, I'm going
looks
to hold it up to
good.
the camera because people have got to see that. Look at this. Come here. Like,
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, you've got it.
look
So,
at
top left-hand corner, you can see there is it's basically
Majestic.
a sleigh read by two wolves and what looks to be effectively Santa. And it's fucking brilliant.
Here's a picture of it in action. So here, it's on the bottom right of this page.
High diagnosis.
There you go, just next to my finger. Rob, can you see that one?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks amazing.
Your opinion is wrong.
Disagree.
Because it just looks different to all the other models. Like, you know
Yeah.
when someone's like, look
It
how
looks-
different this Space Marine is, he's got different armbands.
Do those wolves have backpacks?
Huh?
Do those wolves that are pulling it have backpacks?
That's how
They can
the
have what they
atta-
like.
It's just
I'd
the
put
chariot
rockets on them
attachment
personally.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's also not very good.
Tom, what's scarier? Wolves, yeah,
Yeah.
right? Alpha predators, yeah? They're apex predators. There's nothing in...
This one doesn't have a
There's
nose.
nothing on Earth that hunts wolves, yeah? Everything they're top of the food chain, yeah? Get ready for
They're
wolves.
top of a food chain.
They are. Yeah, wolves are.
You shoot them with a gun.
Well, I mean, apart from us. But most importantly, yeah? It's wolves or rocket wolves. Tell me you're not more scared of
Rocket wolves?
Yeah, but put a
Like
rocket
sharks
on
with
them.
laser beams attached to them.
No,
there's
it's
not a
different.
rocket
That's
on there.
ridiculous. A shark can't get out of water.
There's no rocket
I
on
can't
the
get in the water.
Wolves can swim.
And 70. These ones look more electronic to me. I'm not sure they can swim.
I just don't
it's a
understand.
Sled, it needs wheels and it would be a chariot. True.
Why does it fly?
Why does it fly? Andy Graff.
It's got little fins on the side.
Codex Phil has just donated $10. He says, "Give this to all those bullgrins." What a little babe! Oh, thanks so much. And then
I'll tell you what. If you do want to,
Matty Jim Bob Jr. says he likes it. DJ Batman says it looks rad. Dude says it's Santa Sledge Abomination. LOV asks, is it good now? Par UK,
No.
Hi Par, says that it's
It's not.
awful. Yeah, which is strong.
I agree.
Dino says the only thing that counts in the Puppy Codex is the shout out to Bran. Aceface says it looks like Santa. Chuckabutty has put a post up, and someone's painted him like Santa. Can we have a moment of silence for the model that is Ragnar Blackmane?
I've got it, and I painted it nicely.
Did you?
This fella.
Yeah,
Man, he's
like
super old.
he's super flat. He's like old Eldrad. It's alright. But if you want to look for an even uglier model than Santa Grimnar,
Yeah.
have you seen those flyers?
We'll get to them in a minute. So then Codex Space Wolves. So Big Old Fish says that he actually likes his Space Wolves to be less bluey and more standard grey from the Heresy era. You didn't read the last part of the message. What did it say? I don't know what the last part of the message said because I've missed it. Jesus, it's tough living this life. Anyway, just tuned into the Nova stream to watch BAIKIG Suitless spend 30 minutes of deployment, 10 minutes of playing with 2 BA captains who killed Yvain and 4 stratagems. Says Forrest Rambo. It does not look amazing. It looks mega shit.
Hold up. So that night list would be a Castellan. It'd be Smash Captains and Guard. And then,
Huh?
never mind.
Yeah, that game would be over quick. That's poor scheduling on someone's part. But I imagine that they're going to have loads of filler content scheduled, and they won't
In the
just
breaks,
go to
yeah.
a holding screen
Yeah.
where you'll have to watch that for 2 to 3 hours.
That's
Jeff will
what
turn
a
off.
professional stream would
That's
do.
what a professional stream would do. Even someone like us, we're only crowdfunded by people on Patreon and Twitch. So even us, with volunteers like John and Chuckabutty, and everyone working, like you guys working behind the scenes, I mean, even us are able to put content in between games. So you would assume a multi-million pound company would be able to do it.
you'd assume
Not
that
just put
would.
on a screen.
They're not just going to put up like a holding. At least it'll be a holding video, right?
Yeah.
It's not
Just
gonna be a holding
just
image.
get Jeff to put his StarCraft on. It's basically 40k. There we go.
These are Tyranids.
Yeah.
Forrest Rambo, thanks for joining the knee stabbing gang. Thank you so much. Right. So before we get into the nuts and bolts of it, and we talked about, I suppose we would talk about the narrative. We've done that. The models. Logan
Yeah.
Grimnir is amazing.
We've talked about ones that suck.
Amazing,
Okay. Do you think
amazingly
the
shit.
flyers suck?
Yes.
Yeah, they're not great, are they?
Look at that.
Like,
All right.
to play devil's advocate, and it does look like a really, like, that looks like a cheap dildo, I won't lie. But
Let's get rid of some force.
I mean, it's, you know,
4 engines powering
you know, they say, you know, in a tough situation, anything will do. But my thoughts are: have you seen the Horus Heresy flyer with the assault flyer with the twin?
I think so. Yeah.
The Cerastus assault ram.
Yeah.
It kind of looks a bit like that. You can kind of see where the design methodology does. And if you look at things like the Redemptor, and if you look at things like the
Redemptor's
Repulsor,
awful as well. But Repulsor is repulsive, and Redemptor looks. Look at that.
Yeah.
Who did this?
He's reductive. I know him actually. He's really nice.
I'm sure he is, but I don't like that.
He's really nice. But yeah, and he was really proud of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, no
I can imagine it's quite hard to do, but
no criticism to your art objectively, but subjectively, it looks like a bag of dicks. That's subjectively, though.
In my opinion.
Exactly, thank you.
In my uneducated,
yeah,
unartistic opinion.
Yes. I mean, you're not a professional model designer.
No, I don't appreciate
You're just the customer.
It's like I don't like F1 because I don't appreciate F1.
There you go, there we go. I apologise.
Hey, look, this fly's got a storm shield strapped to the front.
Anything is a dildo if you're brave enough. Thank you, Jonathan Etland, for also saying that. Thoughts on Wolf and Minis? My community are very split, loving and hating them. I think the Wolf and Minis look great.
Same.
I think some of them look good. I think some of the poses are a bit like. There's one guy just like.
I think the paint job,
like this guy.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of him. The guy with the axe is cool. He looks kind of cool with the.
You don't have to put those on. You've got enough bits to be able to make.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
I'm not a huge fan of them. They look like. Did you ever see Thundercats?
Yeah.
They look like Thundercats.
These are meant to look ridiculous.
Yeah, they're meant to be like abnormal. So, can I go back to the flyers for a minute? Because there's a good question here from Allboy Phil. Why are all Space Marine flyers a flying box except the Corvus Black Star? That'd be sexy as hell. But it still is very like functionally square. You have to remember that like there's a design methodology. I don't want to get too into this because it's going to sound like I'm sucking their balls, but the miniature designers are quite serious about the narrative representation in the design aspect of the miniatures. So like all of the Imperium vehicles will always be super boxy and super squat and because it's
aesthetic.
Well, yeah. Well, it's the Imperium. It's like the design methodology of the Imperium. It's like it's built for utility. It's got no frills. It's like it doesn't matter what it looks like. It just matters what job it does. Like it's just like whereas like Eldar, grace and elegance, and Dark Eldar are all spiky, and Orcs apparently now Mad Max.
There you go.
So I think that's always been their design. Like I think Land Raiders really look fucking crap. Personally,
yeah, I understand. Well, Chaos Land Raiders.
The Citadel ones. I like things like the Spartan Assault Tank from Forge World, or even
because that looks more like a bit more of the old school one, the original Land Raider.
Yeah. I really like that. Like, I think there's some cool designs there. Codexville, Wolf Dread. How is that possible? Did they shove a mutated rabbit dog into a mechanical box?
That was creative.
He is creative. Okay. Any other models you liked? I like Wolfham though. To answer the question,
we've kind of done fun.
Big Old Fish loves the ram.
I bet he does.
So is that the point of it? You meant to ram it into something, and then the
Hellfrost missiles on it. It's got a transport capacity, and you just jump out the front and go rah.
I do think it's a nod to the Cerastus Assault ram personally. Yeah. It's kind of like the flying version of. It's a flyer version of a drop pod.
It just doesn't look like a plane.
Yeah. Yes.
Look at the size of those wings.
Yeah. If it looked like it could actually fly, it'd be more
like
believable.
John says in the chat, it looks like a landing craft from World War II. So if you think about it like that,
yeah, but it's in the sea. It's not like Iden have this thing where they bring the sea with them and they're floating on the waves. This looks like a landing craft that somehow managed to find its way into the sky.
Well, it could have flown from the
I know we're talking about realism in 40k, and I'm not like an aerospace engineer or anything.
You can only stretch so far.
I don't have to be a helicopter pilot to know that if I see a helicopter in a tree, I'm like, that probably isn't meant to be there.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have to be an aerospace engineer to know that a tiny little wing like that is not going to make
And I suppose
a landing craft fly.
And I suppose the model design, like, whether or not, like, it's, like, you look at Custodes as an example with their spears and, you know, that genetically they've been alive for 1,000 years and a bunch of other things, you kind of like, okay, like, there's a little dispensation of belief, or suspension of belief. But, you know, the model should actually create that feeling in you that it could at least do the thing it does, right?
I don't believe it's a flyer.
Yeah, that's
the problem,
I guess. So, unfortunately, I feel that's where it falls down. You don't need to be aerodynamic in space. There's DATCOM, which is a great point.
Not in space.
Huh?
It's not in space.
They're designed to deliver those wolves into the heart of the enemy forces, which again is why I think that if you take the Cerestus assault round from Forge World and you take that as, because you see in now, like, I am not saying, oh fuck it, I'll say it.
Do it.
I think the Citadel miniatures designers rip off the Forge World miniatures designers all the fucking time. Like, I really do. You know, like, if you look, like, constantly, like the Redemptor, yeah? Right? What is it? Crap version of the Leviathan? Move on. You know, like, the Repulsor, yeah? Crap version of a Spartan? Move on. Like, it's just, you know, and then the Cerestus Assault Ram, I think, is a more elegant and beautiful version of those Space Wolf flyers.
If someone was to tell me that the flyer for Space Wolves is like a drop pod that glides a bit,
yeah.
Like, you know how in PUBG you drop down,
and
then you activate like your parachute or something, and you just like fly across, right?
A parachute.
Like, a parachute. Yeah, I don't know why I knew a PUBG thing.
Yeah. Do you know, like in life, Rob, when someone pulls a parachute?
Yeah.
Yes, Tom, I do.
Yeah, you got it.
You made a real easy reference, more obscure.
Like, so it falls out of the sky, and then it pulls out its tiny little like Tyrannosaurus Rex arm wings.
Yeah.
It just flaps its way across the battlefield. Then finally, everyone gets out like turn 3 and smashes something in the head. That's fine. But to tell me that it just took off like this. Nah.
I think it's more meant to have flown from like an orbital ship. It's more meant to like, it's either flying in space and doing its job, or it's, it is coming. It's gliding. I don't fuck it. We have really battered home how much you hate that though.
I don't like it.
It's the dog car from Dumb and Dumber, says Ace Face.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
There you go.
Yeah.
What about the Thunderwolves?
I like Thunderwolves.
Yeah, are those Thunderwolves meant to be Space Wolves gone wrong as well?
What? So it's just a dude riding another dude?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's the question we all want to know the answer to.
I don't know if they're actually they're meant to be Fenrisian wolves, but there are no wolves in Fenris. So riddle me this, riddle me that. Is that man riding a man who's a cat?
Is he riding another man, or is it a wolf?
Well, Space Marine. Well,
so is the Space Marine riding?
So the rules, because it's taken a while.
Get some Kappa prides in the chat, boys.
So a TLDR, Nikos. Do you want to do a TLDR of like your kind of like your quick thoughts before we go through it for people who go, I don't want to listen to the rest of this rambling.
My quick thoughts is they got a lot of fucking heroes, aren't they?
Okay, yeah, that's the quick thoughts.
The other thing, and I say this before we went live, the HQ section for Space Wolves is 17 pages long.
17.
Yeah. Did you say 22 entries or something?
28.
28 HQ entries.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is including like Rune Priest and Terminator armor as different ones, but it means you could take 6 Rune Priests because you take 3 in Terminator armor and then 3 out of Terminator armor. Because they're different issues.
Before we go into it any more, because DJ Batman's got a question, he's asked it a couple of times, I think, and I missed it, sorry. Thoughts on the Space Wolf Codex being out of date before it was shipped? Negative ? Or positive ? Is it laziness, a mess up, or on their behalf, or then being a quick update and FAQ stuff? What do you two think?
I'm not entirely sure how we'd ever see that as positive. You know what I mean? I mean, they went
do you want
to
to
fix
qualify
it.
that?
Fine. Well, the Codex was sent to print incorrect. It wasn't correct.
Well, it was. Yes.
Well, so if I go to the Wall of Tricks now, right? So the Wall of Tricks here, you just got.
So the issue for everyone, by the way, is that they released on the community site. They released the Wall of Traits have been changed for the English version to be up to date with all of the non-English versions that are in print.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right.
So these basically didn't have sagas in.
Yeah, what didn't have the sagas?
These
So,
didn't have the
it's,
sagas. So literally
they're all
put
the
this
same.
to
They
include
just
the sagas.
added the sagas in.
Yeah. I'm glad they got on top of it quickly, but it shouldn't have been in my state in the first place. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Nikos, what do you think?
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't inspire. I think I said it last week. It doesn't inspire confidence that they're going to be putting out quality products. So I don't buy the books anymore. I prefer to buy digital just because it's easier for me. But even then, I don't know if I bought the digital version of this, whether it will be updated in my iPad version or not. I don't even know if that will be the case or not. So I don't think it's definitely not a good thing that they can't spin the fact that they produced the warlord traits afterwards to update it as a good thing.
And a lot of this is about the characters.
Definitely a bad thing.
So the entire thing they added was basically if you complete a certain task,
A
while
saga.
you have a warlord trait, a saga,
Yeah.
you get a benefit.
Inspire
so
the
basically-
men.
Yeah, so basically it becomes a 6-inch aura.
Yeah.
And that's a big character thing for Space Wars. It's very unique. It's not even like, we're meant to copy and paste something we just forgot. It was a core part of the identity of the Space Wars.
So there's a couple of things. So what the community site has said and what's actually happening, right? So there's a couple of things. Number one, they decided to update all of the command traits after they'd sent that off to print in English, but before they'd had it translated to other languages. Yeah, and then they sent them off to print at a separate time. Assuming they send them all off to print at separate times, which sounds silly, because I imagine they all come on a boat from China, go to their distribution house in England, and they get sent out to the other places. So that's option one, and then we can explore what we think of the fact that they've updated those command traits in between that gap, where there's a gap, or more likely, in my opinion, they just sent the old original version
By accident.
of the command traits by accident. The article on the community site is a lie, yeah, and that makes the most sense. To me, that seems to be. I don't want to. One more question.
Did they have a lot of detail in that about what happened?
Yeah,
Because
about how they wanted to change it.
Yeah, often a lie with
By-
loads of details.
By change it, they mean include a
Obvious.
core mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this would be the timeline if we're all following at home. It would be send off the English version to print in China. Wait. Someone goes, let's pick someone who I know's name doesn't work there, so we'll pick Jerry, because I know Jerry's not actually one of the Balls guys. Jerry then goes, wait a minute, chaps. What if we did like a saga thing? Yeah? Like, Jerry,
add-on.
over coffee, and they've gone, Jerry, you've cracked that in 15 minutes over lunch. We'll change all the other versions.
All the foreign versions.
Yeah, all the
Completely
foreign
English ones are
versions.
the
I
same.
know we've sent that off, but that's not an issue. We'll do that now. And then Jerry goes, weird we don't send them off at the same time. That's a weird one. Yeah? He goes, I know, but just because of things like this, we like to just wait 12 hours. So, yeah, I don't want to go any further into that. I think they just basically are lying. And they sent that would be the beta version, I imagine, of the command traits that you see in the printed Codex.
Yeah. I am a playtester now, boys.
Yeah, we're all playtesters now, boys. The English print run is probably a lot larger, so it needs to get scheduled further. Print run, smaller foreign language print runs are easy to adjust on schedules. But I imagine that they all come from the same source in China. Would be and then they all come on the same boat to save shipping costs.
My thing is, it's more just a weird thing to change midway through a print run.
I don't think they have.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Is my point. I think what we're looking at is a beta version of the rules, and then the actual version of the rules being released as we've upgraded the rules. But either way, I mean, because the other one is worse. Do you get what I mean?
Which one do you mean by the other one?
Well, so,
The first one.
Yeah, the one where they've just sent off the older
Wrong.
version of the rules, like the beta version, is fine. We made a mistake. We sent off the beta version of the command traits, and here are the actual versions. Yeah, the other version is that they did so little research at work leading up to putting those to print.
The lie is worse.
The lie is worse. The lie makes us think that their quality of rules writing is done worse at a slower pace, is more reactionary, Like, you would think there'd be a lot more planning and effort and process put into designing those command traits, I would say, for them to just quickly flip in
on
the
the
time.
fly. Like,
On the fly between
why not?
having the
Just
English
go.
ones to print and the foreign language ones to print, is my thoughts. That's my feelings. And nothing else got changed, right?
No.
Like, there was not a single other, like, adaptation. There wasn't like, oh, we'll change the costing of one of these sites. There was not a single other review in the whole thing.
No.
So, anyway, yeah. That's my thoughts. You're gonna lie, be good at lying, says DJ Batman. Agreed. Sorry, we fucked up. Would have been better received.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
as well.
I'm not if I fixed it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's my.
Just be open and honest about it.
Huh?
Just be open and honest
I
about
mean, 'cause
it.
I mean, we could explore the conversation where, like, that DJ Batman's asked, but I think it just makes more sense that they just sent the fucking wrong rules off, personally. Like, because, I mean, that's a better story. It's, like, more palatable than they just rushed out some sagas.
Yeah.
Potentially do our day. Will they print the next print run be done correctly, or will they turn it wrong? Anyway, so Tom, what's your like TLDR? Ace Face's TLDR is that this is, which is too long, didn't read by the way, is that this is Smash Captain Codex Part 2, which is a reference to Blood Angels, Space Marine Captains.
I think wolves are better as kind of core than Blood Angels are. Because I think they have good access to some good options like Long Fangs and like the Flyers. And like Rhino-y stuff. But I do think, it's good TLDR.
Do you think that's good?
Yeah.
Alright. Nikos?
Yeah, I'd say, that seems about right from what I've had a look. I've only had a brief look at it, so I've not gone through it.
I'd say if anyone's gonna
completely,
as a codex, it's a nice meta balancer. Like it shifts away. So specifically, what I'm about to talk about, there's a stratagem that allows you to ignore all modifiers to hit on a shooting unit.
Right.
And Long Fangs are arguably one of the better shooting units that you can get for Space Marines flat out.
They're just devastators, with access to better stratagems.
Yeah, and they even have a special ability.
And the Terminator captain in there.
Well, this is the thing. So, with a lot of the units, you can add in a Wolfpack battle leader.
Yeah.
I'm not a battle leader. A pack leader.
Wolfguard.
Yeah, Wolfguard pack leader. And so you can take them either in Terminator armor or as standard. I mean, you can give them kind of all of the standard Elite's Choice options, so you can give them like Storm Shields and Thunder Hammers and all that stuff. So you can either take a cheap one, you can tank wounds on it as a 2+ armor save.
Yeah.
Or you can wait for your squad to die, and there's a stratagem that you can use called Lone Wolf, which is 1 command point. And if you're the last model left in the squad, you become a character, get bonuses to a bunch of your stats, and just run around smashing things.
Oh, I think I personally really like the Lone Wolf stratagem, but I'd probably do something like have an MSU. I'd have MSU squads that were cheaper to try and get Lone Wolf.
With little Thunder Hammer guys in,
like because I would go for like a crappy tactical squad, but like I know they're not called that, but that's
okay. So we can go into that if you'd like.
But no, hold on. But what I'm sorry, just my quick overview is that I think that just that single strat allows you to ignore all modifiers to hit. They already have naturally reroll 1s to hit as well, so you hit on 3s. Rerolling 1s as a Devastator squad, and then you can also use a different command ability which allows you to reroll to wound on all of their weapons as well. So you can make a pretty devastating shooting
devastating
Thanks very much. But also, like, it means that people can't sit. As an example, knowing that Space Wolves in the world would make me think twice about taking my Styges 8 Dragoons from Mechanicum, which are naturally -2 to hit. A Latok, Eldar, Rangers. Now knowing that there's a bunch of Long Fangs out there, and they, and you're not stacking. It's not. You could take 2 units of Long Fangs, and you can wipe out the first unit, but the second unit's going to be like, I'm still here, and you can still do all those things to me.
I think with a lot of these -1 to hit things, it's you're taking it because it's the best option, but you're not taking it because it's mandatory for the list. Yeah. So, for example, I'm taking a Latok because it's just annoying, but if I suddenly lose a Latok, it doesn't mean my list is invalidated, right?
No.
So it's just one of those things, I guess, where, you've got Daka stratagem that we've just spoken about, you've got this that's included as well, and it does try and give you more ways to get around it, but I don't think it's necessarily the end of the world.
Yeah, all I meant is as a balancing system, people choosing to go into things like minus to hit just as a standard
Because it's so, you take it every time.
Because you take it every time, so you think that's quite useful. And
Maybe
then
you push towards Wolfwing or something, which is like a 6+ feel no pain one.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was my feelings looking at this, and I also thought you can make a pretty fucking baller combat army out of this, which is quite cool, because I think a lot of the other Space Marine legions, apart from Blood Angels, lack being able to maybe do that super well.
Yeah.
And I know everyone keeps talking about Smash Captains, but I still think that the other, the Sanguinary Regard and the other guys are okay.
They're okay.
They're okay. I think Wolfen and
Wolfen are very funny.
I think Wolfen are very good, and I think Thingy are really good. Wolves.
Well, I played with Wolfen this weekend, so I had a squad of 8 with 2 Great Frost Axes and 6 with Thunderhammer Storm Shields.
Yeah.
Ran on behind resistant battle. So there's a stratagem that allows you to effectively outflank for 1 command point. So I outflank them, dropped a Wolf Priest down just for rerolls to hit for reasons. I then charged 2d6 and she's got a 12. Charge loads of stuff. I'm hitting on 2s. I'm hitting with like 3 or 4 attacks, depending on whether it's going to be axe or not. And then wounding most things on 3s or 2s, AP -3, damage 3 or D3.
It's pretty impressive, right?
And then when they die in close combat, they get to fight again.
Oh, nice.
And then at the end of the phase, there's a stratagem that allows you to use. So the standard Space Marine one for 3 command points, a unit of infantry can fight again. Fight again.
I think ISG Skeleton. I think they're decent, honestly. I think. But that said, so I played Mark Crumbly Bone at that event. I played Nikos against his power armor all the time. I think people write off power armor more than they should. Nikos has definitely made me respect power armor to the point where I think, I want to take that. And I think that
and plasma.
Yeah, 2-up save and cover. Those long fangs, I think, and then because you need that double, right? You need shooting that's viable, and you need combat that's viable. Yeah, and they need to be survivable. And I think they're pretty survivable. I've run Bulgrins up the board, and Bulgrins are they're not far off Wolfen, and they're basically the same as Thundercav.
Yeah, just a bit slower, just a bit more durable though. But the thing with power armor is it keeps getting pushed back by what else is good. So first of all, we started off with Dark Reapers.
Yeah.
Which messed them up. Then you have Horde lists. And generally speaking, Space Marine lists don't have the kind of Horde clearing abilities that you need to remove that. The exception is aggressive-based lists.
Yeah.
The problem is you could take the aggressive-based list, or you could take an army of Custodes, which do exactly the same thing, except they're more durable.
Yeah.
So it's just, they keep getting battered around by everything else that's out there.
Yeah, I do agree, but I think Wolfen can go through Horde's pretty decent.
Which is why it's a case of going through the kind of soup build. Because if you're taking the Wolf and you're just taking Space Wolves, well, now you need to generate the command points from somewhere. Okay, you need a battalion.
Well, that's actually, before we get onto it, this is another really interesting question I wanted to ask you guys and the Twitch chat. Just see what the guys in the chat are saying first. They're talking about soups and being able to take more than one faction in different battalions in the Twitch chat in a minute. And then limiting points for allies. And hi, SG Skeleton. And if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, I know I keep saying it on the podcast, guys, you must be pissed off. I'm sorry. But we're only taking questions on Twitch. So, obviously, this book, it's arguable, and some people are asking the question as to whether or not this codex wasn't written many a moon ago, and then put to print. But realistically, either that's true or it was done after. But this is the first codex for Space Marines. I think I'm right in saying this.
Yeah. Post
the command point change.
Yes, correct.
Right. So that would be the big FAQ. They made it so that battalion now got you 5 command points as opposed to 3.
Brigade's got you 12.
And Brigade's got you 12. So my thoughts are, do you think that the stratagems in this book have been costed with the original strat points that you get, or are these inflation adjusted? If that makes sense.
Old stratagems that are in all the other Space Marine Marine equivalent books are the same. The new ones, I can't really speak for design philosophy, but a lot of them are 1 command point.
Yeah, lots of the really good stratagems in here are 1 command point. But we know we're now in an environment where all the command points are more inflated.
Yeah. I think you've got a lot of little good ones. So, for example, ignore modifiers. It's really good. You can only use it on 1 unit, and it's not game changing like a Vect stratagem, an Agents of Vect stratagem, or like a Fire and Fade.
I don't know. I think those long-term units could do real work.
Oh, they can.
Hit on threes, ignoring modifiers,
They
reroll
can,
into wounds.
But you still have a cap for that unit. You can only use that on one unit per phase.
Yeah.
It's not like you're saying, well, I'm just going to... You need to get this one stratagem off to win the game. Nope, nothing for you. Or I'm going to spend 7 command points jumping on Blood Dangerous Captain across the board and punching something really hard in the face. It's not quite... It's difficult to suggest that those two things are going to have the same impact on the game.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that can't have an impact on the game, but it's more like using lots of little stratagems repeatedly and just garnering tiny advantages here, there, and everywhere, rather than one big blow your load.
Yeah, but this is my point. Do you think that this codex has been designed with the idea that there's an inflated amount of command points in the world now? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Then are they giving them more stratagems, or is it the cost of them you're on about?
I'm asking, are stratagems like, are they like, do they think, oh, that stratagem should have been 1 command point when you only really had an average of 9, but now the average is 12 out there, maybe it should be 2. Does that make sense?
If it would be, it should be more expensive, I'd imagine. Not because I think that they should be more expensive, but...
In an environment where you have more currency,
yes,
then things should cost more.
Perhaps. Or because...
I thought they put up the amount of command points people got so people could do more stratagems.
I think it was specifically to help people. I think it was specifically to help custodians who were so command point poor.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't do many of their stratagems effectively because they're an elite army and they struggled to get more than like 6 command points into their army. But
well, pure custodians. I mean,
yeah. Anyway, I just thought it was an interesting question. And if anyone out there's got an opinion or thoughts or feelings, drop me a message.
Yeah.
I think they look exactly the same as other ones I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. But now they know that there are more command points in the world.
Well, I think from what I remember watching the live Facebook thing that they did when they released the FAQ, they said that they wanted to increase the amount of command points that are available to people so they could do more stratagems. So they want people to do more stratagems.
So inflating the cost wouldn't make any sense. Because you want people to do more stratagems, right?
Yeah.
So there are a couple of funny ones in here as well as Lone Wolf. So you've got another one which you might be...
Well, let's go through. Let's start the codex at the beginning, and that's because of their universal. Their universal special rule, right?
Yeah, sure. So if we can start the universal special rule, is that correct? Well, there we go. Alrighty, so they have a few universal special rules. So I've already talked about one a little bit. It's not really a universal special rule, but you see a lot of units with the ability to add in an extra Wolfguard pack leader to tank things on them and maybe use Lone Wolf on. But you have 2 special rules. One's called Defenders of Humanity, and this is given to all infantry, biker, cavalry, and dreadnought units, other than servitors in Space Wolves detachments. So this one is a unit with this ability that is within range of an objective marker, controls the objective marker, even if there are more enemy models within range of that objective marker. So it's like objective secured, which we talked about last week. And then you also get the Hunters Unleashed rule. So in any turn in which a unit with this ability made a charge move, was charged, or made a heroic intervention, you get a +1 to hit rolls. In addition, characters with this ability can perform a heroic intervention if, after the enemy completes all other charges, there are enemy units within 6 inches. So that would be a 6-inch heroic intervention rather than 3, and you get +1 to hit in the first round of combat, effectively. For all Space Wolves units.
I think that's lame.
It's not as good as the Blue Angels one.
Yeah, and it's only melee.
Yes.
I think it's all right. Like, I think
it's not as good.
They've got a lot of characters that already hit on 2s, so it's not benefiting them that much. Unless you're taking Thunderhammers. I was just thinking that given that, I'd probably, if I was having lines of Marines and then characters looking to do heroic interventions, I'd probably give a lot of my characters jump packs. Because then you can jump over your screen if you've got that to get into the mix.
Yeah.
I mean, Thunderhammer still make you -1 to hit, right?
Yeah, but then if you've got a +1, it just compensates.
Then they compensate out for each other, so that's fairly decent.
Or Power Fist.
Power Fist. So you're able to give them much more like smashy weapons.
I feel like if you could take a Power Fist, you can take a Thunderhammer at that point. Take a Thunderhammer.
Yeah. Decent. I definitely agree as well. So I mean, that's a big advantage to the army. But +1 to hit generally for melee. I mean, for me, when reading through it, the units that did really stand out, like just off the bat, were things like the Wolfen, maybe this is because I was looking for it, but they seem to, in my opinion, with the Wolfen, and obviously the Thundercav, and also the long fangs. Those are the kind of key units, and then just a metric fuck ton of characters.
There you go.
What are the blood claws?
Huh?
What are the blood claws?
They're fine.
They can get a lot of attacks on 2s.
Yeah,
Can be quite nice.
I don't know. I think you're paying a lot of points to generate that one wound with that a lot of attacks.
It's still 13 points a model.
Yeah. Whereas I can get a pretty decent invuln save on the Wolfen or on the Thundercalf. I can make them much more resilient to AP, which is really important. I think.
So there's a reason that Death Guard don't work for Blood Angels, right?
Yeah.
Because they just die. And I feel like Blood Claws are kind of similar, except they don't fly.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
You can have there's a jump pack version of them though.
Yeah, the Swift Claws.
Swift claws.
Swift claws. Dionysus has got a point. I feel Space Wolves should have had less access to jump packs, seeing as narratively they hate jump packs.
Oh really?
Or did they retcon that?
This is the thing with Space Wolves. So you used to have like all the competitive Space Wolves lists basically just been full of rune priests. Space Wolves hate psychers.
Well, yeah, like that's actually the other thing that I'd like to mention about the thing from the stratagems and lots of other things. It really stood out to me that many of them orientate around the rune priests, and I think the psychic tree for these guys is really strong.
Yeah, it's good.
Really strong. I definitely could see taking 3 rune priests.
They remind me of Farseers because they have access to that intercept stratagem for Dark Reapers.
Yes.
That is, if an enemy arrives within line of sight of a unit.
Of a
within
rune priest.
6 inches of within a unit within 6 inches of a rune priest.
Yeah. So
it's not even of a rune priest. It only tells them fire. It's if you're within 6 inches of a rune priest, you can intercept them whenever you want.
At their full ballistic skill, but -1.
-1.
Yeah.
Alba don't care about because Reapers, but it's
Yeah.
So and then they have also I think it's Cloaked by the Storm, which is a free command point stratagem that allows you to be everything within 6 inches of a rune priest that's casting a psychic power is -1 to hit. And that stacks quite well with another psychic power, so I'll just get up the psychic power tree as well here, because we might as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the psychic powers I really, really like from this psychic power
we won't
tree...
do them all yet, because we'll try and go through a linear order.
Yeah, is called Stormcaller.
Yeah.
So this is the 5th power, and it's got a warp charge value of 8. So if you manifest it, until the next psychic phase, the psychic and any friendly Space Wolf units within him gain the benefit of being within cover. So you can have that on tanks as well. So if I have, 4 rhinos, and I'm just running up this rune priest with a jump pack or something behind him, then I can just cast that power. My rhinos now have a 2+. If I really want to, I can do
the stratagem,
and I can pop smoke.
which doesn't affect just infantry. It affects everything around.
Yeah.
So -1 to hit vehicles is pretty cool too.
It's -2 because you pop smoke.
Oh yeah.
That's -2 to hit, 2+ save rhinos.
Sweet.
That's decent. Full of Wolfen. Full of
angry.
Rhinos. No, Wolfen count as 2 because they're 2 wounds piece.
Right, so it's 4 units of 5. Oh, you can't do that because 4 units. So.
Yeah. But you can still do you can do a lot basically.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing as well, which seems really interesting. It seems like the book is also built around rune priests. Was the other thing that I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
All of the psychic powers apart from 1 I would take, and there are stratagems which all orientate around the rune priests.
Yeah.
So I find that really fascinating as well. So that seems to be like a narrative shift, and they don't often like it. They're anti-psych. They hate Magnus. They're anti-psychers all day long, and they're not. So
yeah.
Interesting.
It's like the rules don't match up quite with the narrative.
It's
like the whole...
What's that then?
I've got some
That's the whole
questions coming
thing.
in. There's one from Ho Ho Teddy. He says, is the bearded guy coming back to Warhammer TV? The answer is no. I much prefer this channel. It's better. Sorry about that. Is it okay if I stay with you guys?
That's fine.
Because I prefer you guys.
All right.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Alan says, so I suspected MSU Grave Hunters will be the go-to fill-in trips, maybe with an Incest Squad thrown in for durability, which is a cool idea. And Banju Chained has just joined the channel. You babe, thanks very much. Choose the Slain as a friendly unit, not a friendly Space Wolf unit. Overwatch with that Castellan or Shadow Sword. Yeah.
So
we'll talk about that in a bit too, when we go on to the strats. Banju Chained, thanks for subscribing with Twitch Prime. We really appreciate it. And don't forget, you can always subscribe to the Honest War Gamer on Twitch Prime. It's free to do. We get $2.50, which after tax and transactions we get 80p. But sounds like not a lot, but we really would appreciate it because it lets us be honest about it.
It also means you can spam emotes in other chats.
It does mean you get to do that, and that's worth it all day long. And Codex has gone -2 to hit rhinos. Do you know who wouldn't be bothered about that? Fucking
Dark Reapers.
Plasma Bob. Yeah.
Cares not how many
He
modifiers
cares
you
not how
have.
many modifiers. He will hit you on sixes with all 4 supercharged
There you go.
plasma shots.
Orcs don't care about your invisible rhinos.
Yeah, that's also
No.
true. Yeah. Okay, so they get +1 to hit in melee.
Yep.
That seems kind of cool. They've got access to obviously unique units and unique items. So we won't cover. Oh, Wally the Bus, thanks for following us. We won't cover some of the units. But
No, we'll cover the unique ones.
yeah.
I guess.
So should we talk about the units? Go through them and just end up at the command traits and everything else.
This is the HQ section.
Yeah, HQ section.
17 pages long.
So you got Logan Grimnir. Yeah.
Yes.
Thick.
we do.
On Storm Rider is the only way to build him.
He's
Take
like
him
crappy Abaddon.
because he looks amazing.
No. But we'll go through his rules.
Disagree.
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 Okay. So, why would you have him on Storm Rider apart from the fantastic model over on foot? Any thoughts? He's 180 points.
Because he doesn't have Storm Rider.
It gives you 2 extra toughness points. And it gives you...
Come on.
7
If you're on
extra
Storm
movement.
Rider, you're targetable.
That's
yes,
true.
this is true.
But also,
12 wounds.
and this is really fucking important.
Or you can teleport.
No.
It gives you the fly keyword.
Yes, and it makes him really fast.
Wait, no it doesn't.
It makes you really fast.
Dude, he doesn't have a fly keyword.
Doesn't he?
No. Look. He doesn't have it. Put it on.
Well, maybe he doesn't fly. Well, he doesn't fly, does he?
The
He
wolves
He
don't.
fly? No, he hovers. He skims.
skirts across
Yeah,
the
he's
turf,
fucking-
doesn't he?
he's-
He just drifts.
Swaggers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Tokyo Drift. Oh, ho ho Teddy, thanks for following us.
So yeah, you get... at max bracket, you get 5 extra inches of movement. At the second bracket, you get 2 extra inches of movement. And at the bottom bracket, you go slower than if you were just walking.
I'm working on the Quartermaster Temple of Space Force.
Do you reckon he's-
Mm.
He's killing me. Bless him.
Do you reckon on his bottom bracket, the wolves are dead and he's just pushing it?
One in each arse. Just like...
The wolves can't fly, that's a good point.
But he's meant to be Santa.
Huh?
They're like magic reindeer.
Yeah.
Personally, I like the mobility.
You get to reroll your charges as well with him.
You get to do that on both versions.
Oh
right?
dear.
I'm not sure I like the mobility enough to warrant getting shot at.
Which is fair. But he does have the Belt of Rust, and that gives him a 4 up and vulnerable.
He does.
So it's either toughness 4 with 7 wounds with a 4 up and vulnerable save, or it's toughness 6 with 12 wounds with a 4 up and vulnerable
Yeah,
save,
so-
and a 2 up armor save either way.
So now I only need 8 successful Dark Reaper wounds to kill him.
Yes, exactly. Right? And you'll never get them because it's too good. And he's got.
He's just doing donuts in the back line.
He's strength 6 with his 5 attacks, with his axe of Morkai, minus 3 doing D3 damage. So pretty decent, right?
Another reason to take him on with this thing is because it's got a bigger base, so you can get an extra
More in your
surface
buff.
area. Yes, so extra surface area for your 6-inch.
Teddy's got a question.
Yeah.
Are Wolf Scouts still outclassed by normal Scouts?
Wolf Scouts. I love Wolf Scouts. I have loads from
Yeah.
6th edition, but they are absolutely awful.
In this codex.
Yes.
There you go.
If you want to run an army of them, go ahead. But
It's not the most optimal choice.
no. So there's 2 reasons why you take Scouts, right?
Yeah.
One for a cheap troops choice, and another one for infiltrating. So Wolf
And
Scouts
also for
don't-
board control on the first turn.
well, this is the thing. So infiltrating to just block off,
Yeah.
right? So Wolf Scouts can't infiltrate, and they're not troops choices. Instead, they have access to better war gear than Primaris Marines. You can give them storm shields,
Yeah, baby.
and they outflank.
Yeah.
But you don't. Scout Bikers, though, Wolf Scout Bikers are really good. I like those. Because they can come off from a board edge and just fire a bunch of bolter shots at someone.
I agree.
It's alright.
I agree. So Logan Grimnir, would you take him or not take him? Pretty badass.
Depends how many points he
You
has.
can take the
Is
ass
he-
off and it's accurate.
Is he the only one? You see, he gives you the reroll all hits. He's your chapter master.
Yeah.
Which is probably good.
Have a look at
Compared
that.
to, I don't think anyone else
He
has
can also
that, do they?
teleport in, and he is a one-man warrior that can go and like absolutely kick at it face. But realistically, he's probably too many points for that job.
Okay, so I'm going to do some weird homes under the hammer stuff, or whatever.
We,
How many points do you think you would pay for him?
110.
This one, 110?
I'm gonna say he's about 200.
Is that off or on? How much would you pay for him?
Oh.
That's with him off. I know he's
Oh.
180 on.
Okay, so off, how many points would you pay for him? No cheating.
150.
Okay.
That's high, is it? What, off the sled?
He is still 170 points
Off the sled.
off the sled, and he's 190 on the sled.
See, they're basically saying the sled's fucking baller.
The sled allows people to kill
hard-
you.
it's
I'd
hard.
never
Targetable,
take him
right?
off the
Yeah.
sled.
I'd never put him on the sled because it means he'll die.
If I were to, I'd just get the base and stick him on the base and say, he's got the base, the Stormweather rules.
Can't target him, he's too small.
Well, no, he'd have
Well,
those
like
rules,
advantage.
but I just wouldn't have the hideous sled.
Right. You just chain him to do doggos
Well,
and
then
just drag him
then
across the
it-
board.
then if you fancy giving me your other sled so I can have two, just looking amazing.
There you go.
that'd be
I reckon
great.
you could make a good Orky conversion out there, like put some wheels on the bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
speed
mate.
An
freak,
Orky
speed
chariot.
freak.
Yeah, baby.
2 squigs pulling it.
However, the next
Right.
character I would take, potentially.
I do
Arjak
love Arjak.
Rockfist.
Arjak is funny.
Yeah. So I think he has that 3-up invulnerable save,
He does, and he also reduces all damage suffered by 1.
which is massive.
Oh,
And he has... no, he doesn't have
So he's under the wound threshold that he can be targeted by shooting. He's got Champion of the King's Guard, which is a pretty cool ability. Reroll field, hit rolls for Arjak Rockfist in the fight phase when targeting a character. In addition, you can make 1 additional attack in the fight phase for all models in friendly Wolf Guard units within 6 inches of Arjak Rockfist. So +1 attack to units around him is a pretty big deal.
Just for Wolfguard, though.
Yeah,
Quick
Wolf
question.
Guard.
Yeah.
If you take a Wolfguard battle leader in a unit,
Yeah.
does that give that unit a Wolfguard keyword?
Yeah.
So basically, if it's got 1 Wolfguard in it, it affects the entire unit.
No, mixed units. No, they actually have a special rule on the if you go to like Blood Claws or something. Sorry,
okay.
they actually have a special rule called mixed units.
Okay.
So you treat it as an individual model.
Okay, right,
So-
that's fine.
So that model would get
Okay, that's fine.
Extra
Because I know with, for example, Deathwatch, if you have 1 intercessor in your unit, the entire unit gains keyword fly.
yes.
So you can fall out and do whatever you want.
Yeah. That's a Death Watch kind of thing. These
Yeah.
guys have had that.
I think it's
written.
more of an oversight, personally.
So Arjak's really cool. He's also got Thane to the High King. You can reroll wound rolls of 1 for friendly space war units within 6 inches of this model. So while he's on foot, yeah, and he can teleport strikes, that's important. Thank you very much. While he's on foot, he's slow, but he can teleport. But I think +1 to attack to units around him and reroll 1s to wound, especially when lots of these models
If you take
are going to be
Wolfguard.
wounded on 3s against like infantry, medium,
Yeah.
like heavy
Yeah.
stuff.
And you're getting good return on those extra attacks because it's most likely going to be the first turn of combat, right? So you're getting 2s to hit, right?
Yeah.
But here's a bit of a character slapper because we've already been through he rerolls to hit against characters.
Yeah.
But his weapon is a foe hammer and it's got 2 profiles. So it's got a shooting profile, which is 12-inch range, assault 1, and then a melee profile. But both of these are strength times 2,
And he's strength
AP
5
minus
naturally.
3. Yep. So it's a strength 10, AP minus 3, damage D3, but when it's against a character or a monster, it's flat damage 3. So he could one-shot Logan Grimnell on a chariot.
Do you know what I really like the idea of? I don't think it's competitive at all, but I really like the idea of dipping into like even just Codex Space Marines, taking a bunch of their psychic powers.
You
And
mean
I
like
think-
to soup, do you?
Yeah, in a Supreme Command detachment and just like buffing the holy fuck.
You say you
out.
don't like to soup, but you say, oh, Space Marines, yes.
No, Space Marines only so that they can have some psychers just buff some of these characters so they're crazy strong.
What, Might of Heroes?
Yeah, right? And just have them just running forward and just beating the snot out of
Well,
stuff.
if you want to make them crazy strong, there's a stratagem in the Dark Angels Codex. It's called the Lion and the Wolf, which is specifically for this.
Yes, we'll get
I'll
to
that later.
strats, we'll do
Okay,
that.
That's
yeah.
fine. That's fine.
But yeah, you can do that. And that'll
Because we were
apply to
going
all
through
these
stratagems
characters.
earlier, I didn't know if we're mixing them
Yeah.
in just as it was appropriate. But,
But would you like Arjak? I think he's quite good, and he's also a force multiplier for units around him.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
If drop pods were allowed to do drop pod things
Yeah.
in this edition, Space Wars will be absolutely great. But they're not.
What do you
What's a
mean by
drop pod thing?
If you could drop pod assault like you used to be able to in 7th.
that? So if you could land and then
If
assault.
drop pods, so if you could land in an assault, or you could drop them in the first turn.
What if I told you, Tom, you could play like an orc?
Sorry?
What if I told you could teleport strike your units like
All
you
of them.
can here? Not all of them, but the important ones.
Yeah.
Arjak, fucking badass bunch of Terminators, or something similar.
Mhm.
Yeah, right? Or even outflank with a unit of Wolfen because of a stratagem. And then there's even a character that allows you to reroll charge rolls.
Yep.
Yeah, now uses an orc with that 9-inch to jump, just
There you go.
praying for a 9-inch charge. I mean, what else could you want?
I know.
What else could you want?
I don't know. Not to spend 130 points on drop pods.
Your chair just broke.
What have you done?
The chain is broken.
Do you want to swap?
No. I just dropped down. So Arjak, I like him personally.
He's cool.
I'd
Yeah.
try and find room for him.
He's like a supercharged lieutenant, isn't he? And if you
Yeah.
think if you're playing Marines without a captain or lieutenant nearby most units, then
Well, it means you don't have
in
to
a
spend
bad place.
points on the lieutenant, right?
Yeah. Well, we've got a lot of lieutenant choices, so...
Yeah.
Got Beyond the Fell-Handed.
Now, that Dreadnought list.
Yeah.
Are
Got Dreadnought
are
in.
you prepared? So, Bjorn is a toughness 8 wound Dreadnought who has the character keyword.
Toughness 8. Wow, he's like a Leviathan toughness.
He's
That
not
guy.
quite like that, what's the name of the Salamander's Dreadnought that we covered?
Brayoff
Ashman.
Couple of things. Codex Phil. John says that obviously the chance of a 9-inch, so a deep striking rerollable charge is 57% chance to make a successful charge. I personally say that it's 100% chance if you stop being a little bitch.
I made a mathsy boy do the maths, and it's quite the high. If you include the potential to roll a 6 and 1 and then command reroll 1, I think it might be.
Yeah.
So, just if you're rerolling both dice if you fail.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that quite.
100% though, Tom, if you're not being a little bitch about it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, I can't argue. I rolled a double 6 last time I did it. So, damn it.
Arjack's coolest along with Ulfric and that Dragon Gaze lad, says Codex Phil. RS Workshop says, hi buddy. And then Alandros laughs in 9 Storm, Space Wolf Dreadnoughts. And then Karl Mack says, you fail 100% of the charges you don't attempt. Karl Marx. Yeah. You fail 100% of the charges you don't attempt, and Rise of the Proletariats also.
To the gulag.
Yeah, to the gulags. OJ108, watching this with the missus, having dinner, trying to get into the hobby. Do your best, chaps. OJ180.
You picked the right show of the week.
You picked the right show. The demographics for the Thursday night is the highest rated amongst women.
It's the show for the ladies, this one.
It's the show for the ladies. The only thing I can tell you is, would you like a cupboard full of miniatures and trophies? Your house. You go to IKEA and you think, what's in this season?
What knickknacks am I going to put in that glass cabinet?
Exactly. Incredibly reductive of your gender, by the way, and we apologise. But if you were to be said lady of the 70s, may I point to you Warhammer? These could fill your cupboards, and it's been going for over 30 years, so...
You could buy...
It's an old retro classic.
You could buy some shitty pottery from the tat shop.
Yes.
Or you could buy some miniatures, which you can decorate and assemble yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And lastly, it teaches you maths. Yeah. Fair play.
Apparently.
Not if you're in North America. There you go, Tom.
I can't do... Thank you.
Fuck you, Team Happy, you bunch of dicks.
Only good different.
And I think we've done it. We've nailed it. She's in.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Yeah. Plus, and this is really important, OJ's wife, he'll be trying so hard to get you into the hobby that he'll let you put glitter on his models. And it's that double thing where you know when you love someone.
You could probably trick him to do housework.
Exactly. You know when you love someone, but still you think, well, fuck you a little bit. So it's like, I'll play Warhammer with you, but your favourite guy. Bit of glitter. Fuck you.
Every time they dive, they don't dive, they just get glittered.
Pardon me?
Every time they dive, they just get glittered.
Yeah.
There you go. Remove it.
Either let me win or I'm glittering this one.
Yeah.
Playing for keeps. You don't want to know what I'm going to do with it.
Playing for glitter slips. Alright, I think we've done a great job there.
Good. Well done, everyone.
Well, congratulations. Well done, Room.
Well done, everybody.
Well done, Room. Well done, everybody.
Okay, so
also, if you listen to the podcast, probably just play that for your wife. Generally.
Click that.
Or, yeah. or male partner who's into knickknacks.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, Beyond the Fell-Handed. So, if you have
Beyond the Fell-Handed in your... What is wrong?
Come back. Sore point. I'm in the doghouse for throwing 15 years of accumulated tat into the bin, making room for 120 hot points.
Oh.
Is that all? Where's the remaining 60?
Yeah, you need the other boys, man.
Scrubs.
Buy another cabinet.
Alright. If your army is Battleforged, you receive 1 additional command point if it includes
Beyond the Fell-Handed.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. So he's a dreadnought, but he's got no invulnerable save.
This is true.
Move on.
He is a character, though.
Yeah, he's
Still
a character.
Oh, come on.
Toughness 8, character.
Oh, come on. With
Rob.
a 3-up save. Shut up.
Someone in the chat wanted to run an all Dreadnought list, and we're not going to let them down.
No, but Beyond the Fell-Handed is going to let him down.
No, but... Okay, yeah, probably. But let's decide... How many points is this guy?
I don't know.
Yeah, but they'll be prepared to be let down by him.
Okay, yes. All right. So this is in reference to, in Rob's opinion only, but in some people's opinion, my
Alright.
opinion, that if you don't have an invulnerable save on a multi-wound model, then there's no point playing with it.
Not if you can't target it.
Yeah.
He's a shooty dread. He has an assault cannon and a heavy flamer.
He does have a damage save, though.
He
He
does
has
have an
5+
after damage save of a 5-up.
Yeah.
Or what is it called, though, nowadays?
It was something that was.
Oh,
enough.
damn, what's it called now?
Have you got the notepad
This is
document?
DPR, I
The
think.
DPR,
Damage
a damage
prevention
prevention roll
There you
of
go.
a 5+, thank you.
There you go.
DPR.
So you can replace the assault cannon with a Hellfrost cannon, a heavy plasma cannon if you really want to be risky, or
Which you
a.
do.
Which you obviously do.
Would it kill him actually if he rolled a one?
No. I've checked actually on the new on the plasma on these weapons. It's one mortal.
Because Land Raiders kill themselves if they have cosmic plasma.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Analog says Warhammer's been mine and my partner's date night almost every week for 5 years.
Oh my god, I'm so incredibly jealous of that man.
Yeah, or lady.
And
You don't know
woman.
who Alan
Well,
Brown
yeah,
is.
that person.
All started when showing them models and books, and they were like, I kind of like these guys on bikes. And next week I painted this Raven squad for you. Oh,
Oh.
Is it green?
that's great.
Tailed like a Roblin.
Oh.
Use the custom heads for the extra hair.
Bjorn doesn't need an invuln save when his Axe Shield Escort does. I guess that's true. He does have a unit with him.
So you're not going to be firing with that heavy flamer because if you get him that close, he can be shot at. You're not going to be punching with True Claw because it's a melee weapon. But it is nice. It's +5 strength, so he's strength 12. AP -4, damage D6, and you reroll fail to wound rolls. So if you get close to him, it'll go brrrr.
Yeah, I don't think
So
he's
he's gonna
terrible.
do a lot.
And a heroic in 3 and 6 inches.
All right.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
How many
that's
points
pretty
is he?
That, I don't see how that's relevant.
Yeah, I don't think how that thing that's the most important thing is relevant.
Hold up. Is he even in here?
Yeah,
I can't.
God.
He's not even in characters.
he is in the characters.
Is he? I can't see him. Is he in it? No, he's in HQ for some reason. So he's 180 points plus war gear. So you need to give him a heavy flamer, which is too much because you're not going to use it. Can I find it? So many of these ones. Yeah, it's too much. He's 17 points. So it's about 20. He's about 200 points.
Ho Teddy says, "Are you guys aware Slanesh Fiends and Fleshhounds are getting new models soon?" I did not know
There's
that.
there's a Khorne versus Slanesh box coming out.
There is.
Fiends are disgusting. I need to get that corn box.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then if you give him an assault cannon, he will be about 220 points. If you give him the Hellfrost boy, he will be about the same.
Yeah.
He's about 220 points.
And does that make you want to take him more or less time?
No, but people in chat won't take him. So
Okay.
we'll serve the chat.
Right.
All
Next up is my hot pick.
Yes.
Hot
Yeah.
pick.
Oh, you agreeing with me? This is nice that we've all read it independently and we're like arriving at this.
Maybe because Niall's always been a baller.
Do you want to say his name?
I know.
Najal Stormcaller.
You say Najal, I say Niall, everyone's right.
Okay,
I think it's Yal.
What?
I think the N's silent.
Jal.
Just Jal.
I think it's Yal.
Oh, now.
And the J.
Okay.
You could just call him Owl Stormcaller.
Owl
Al.
Stormcaller.
Alfred.
Al's easier, yeah.
So he's a badass psyker, right? He's a character psyker, pronounced Neil, apparently. So he's got 5 wounds with a 2-up save naturally, which is obviously really cool. And he has runic armor, yeah, which gives him a 5-up invulnerable save. But you can also get him in Terminator armor, which is
Runic Terminator.
Runic armor, which would be my suggestion just for that 4-up invuln save.
Yes.
It also gets him an extra wound. So 6 wounds with a 4-up invulnerable save. Pretty beastly. And he's got some great abilities, but specifically Lord of the Tempest, add 1 to psychic test you make.
Also, the Runic Terminator armor model is much nicer than the one in the normal armor.
Agreed. Couldn't agree with you
Yeah.
more. So we're doing 2 things there, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Then you've got the psychic hood,
Woo!
which is add 1 to deny the witch test
Within 12 inches.
within 12 inches, which is also really good. Then you've got Staff of the Stormcaller, which is you can re-roll 1 failed deny the witch test in each of your opponent's psychic phase. So +1 re-rollable is really strong.
That'd be quite good with the Terminator armor because you can drop in
Teleport him in.
within
Just to
12.
deny. But then you
Yeah.
might as well just do that with regular approach, I think, at that point.
Well, but he's got +1 and a reroll to it, hasn't
So,
he?
oh, he doesn't. Everyone doesn't get rerolls at that point.
Yeah. So I would. Oh no, what's awkward?
And then you can cast Stormcaller
Huh?
for a 1+ save.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would go for this personally.
You're okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
I'm just checking some info I'm getting. So, and he can obviously cast manifest 2 psychic powers, and he knows Spite as well. So, what do you think? Why is he your hot pick? Would you say he's great?
Psychic powers are cool.
Yeah, psychic powers for these guys are particularly strong, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah.
So, do you want me to go for him now?
Yeah, go for it. Oh, the psychic powers? Yeah, we might as well now.
Yeah, because we're about to hit all the psychics anyway. So the first one is Living Lightning. It's a 6-watt charge power, and the closest enemy unit within 18 inches takes D3 mortal wounds. If that unit is destroyed as a result, the closest enemy unit within 18 inches of the last model of that unit to be removed suffers D3 mortal wounds. So if you kill a unit with it, the next closest unit takes D3 mortal wounds as well, and so on until. So if you have an army of 1 wound models, and it's just a unit of 1 guy,
yeah,
you're just going to die.
Yeah.
So
as long as they're all
within 18 inches of the last guy who died.
I think I'd hate to go up against that with my plasma pod that I played recently, with all the little veteran units in there.
Yeah, but you still need to chip them down a little bit first, because you need to be able to kill the unit, and then it's right? Yeah. So, unless you want to use a certain stratagem which increases the amount of damage that you can do. So, we'll come on to that later, I think. So, the second one is Tempest.
Hi, Archean. I didn't see he was in. I think he just said something earlier.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Okay. So, the next one is Tempest Wrath. So, it's a water charge of 6 again, 24-inch range, select on enemy unit. Until the start of your next psychic phase, your opponent must subtract 1 from any hit rolls they make for that unit. So, you cast it on an enemy unit within 24, and they're -1 to hit. You then have Murderous Hurricane, which is a water charge.
So far, 2 psychic powers that are super viable, and you take.
Yeah. So I like Living Lightning more, but only because of the stratagem, which we'll come into later. But Murderous Hurricane, so it has a water charge value of 5. If manifested, select a visible enemy unit within 18. Roll 1 dice for each model of a unit, and that model suffers a mortal wound for each roll of 6. So cast it on a guard wall. It's like the
Town power. Yeah.
But not Tesseract Bolt, so it's not as good. But
I mean, it's still it fulfills a different function.
Yeah.
I've got 1 Rune Priest, and he can do Smite, and he can do another D3 mortal wounds, and potentially keep cycling those D3 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
So that's 2D3. Now there's also a Horde unit in my opponent's army, and now I've done 4 or 5 mortal wounds in turn as well.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not as good as the Tesseract thing, because the Tesseract thing is on 5s.
Yeah. Absolutely. What I mean is so far they're all functional for a job.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. It's a good sort of thing to have.
Hyper Beam, and also Mr. Stingray.
It's like like to take on all comers. Like you don't know what you're coming up against. It's not going to be so good against knights, but if you come up against one of the hordes,
if you just take one and
you've got
choose
that
before each game, you can just go, well, I'll have this power this game.
Yeah.
Then you have Fury of the Wolf Spirits. So this is I think these names are all the same as the ones I've been since 5th edition. They're all the same powers, they just do different things now.
Oh, well, what's the psychic tree called?
It is called Tempestas.
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 Yeah.
Yes. So Fury of the Wolf Spirits has a water charge value of 7. So you manifest it, and the Rune Priest gains.
Sorry, Tom. Quick question. How do you say "wah" in 40k?
War.
Nikos, thoughts?
No.
How do you say what?
Wah.
Wah.
Like that.
In 40k.
In 40k?
Yeah.
So
Wah.
wah!
Oh, right, nice. Okay, good.
Shout it, but I'm not going to do that to
I was just wondering.
microphone.
Anyway, so sorry.
Okay, where did that come from?
Yeah, okay.
All right.
So what are we on? Power number 3?
Yeah, power number 4.
All right.
So
What was 3? The
Murderous
Murderous
Hurricane.
Hurricane. So this one is, it gives you a Rune Priest the following weapon until the start of your next psychic phase. So it's Frecky and Gary, which are wolves.
Do you get some pets? Little ghostly
you get
pets?
some doggos. And it's a strength 5 AP -3 damage 1 melee weapon.
Because all doggos are the best doggos.
They are. Good boy. After the Rune Priest makes close combat attacks, you then attack with Frecky and Gary.
Yeah.
So basically, you attack normally with your Rune Priests, and then after you're attacked, you get 6 additional attacks at strength 5 AP -3 damage 1.
It kind of makes me want to design
Nice.
a Terminator armor, Rune Priest, yeah, just absolutely just
Jack.
baller,
Yeah.
just Jack. He's I'm going in there and he's fighting and he summons the dogs every time.
Yeah.
He just goes in battling. I love the idea of summoning a familiar. That would be really cool if some other guys could do that.
That's the idea.
That's the idea.
Doggo
Yeah.
spirits. It's
Yeah, that's
Army
really
of the
fun.
Dead.
Yeah.
And then we've got Stormcaller, which has already been through, which is the value 8 power, which gives you the benefit of being within cover if you've within 6 inches of the
Which is a really good one also.
Really good. And then you've got my personal favourite.
Yeah.
Not because it's any good, because it brings back lots of nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
It's Jaws of the World War.
Okay, nice.
Which you used to use to make riptides and tergons fall down holes. And now it's just a war charge value of 7, and selects an enemy unit within 18 inches that isn't a vehicle. So you roll 2d6, subtract the target's move, and the target unit suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the assault.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's not the same as making 2 riptides disappear, but it's alright.
It's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's the last one.
That's the last one.
So I think, for me, 5 out of 6 of those are decent.
Which one didn't you like?
What was number 4?
Fury of the War Spirits, which is the extra 6 attacks at strength 5 if you minus 3 damage.
I think that does the least.
You're not going to lob your Rune Priest into combat, I would hope.
Well, you don't know how I play.
I've seen Bob Wilson cross melee Tau, I don't need to.
Hold on, wait, go back. So that the final spell, apparently, no, it's take the movement away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wouldn't even it wouldn't even hurt flyers.
No, and you can't target vehicles anyway.
Yeah, Codex Phil's donated $10, and he says, touche, Rob. Touche.
You can target monstrous creatures.
Touche. Codex Phil challenged me to get you guys to say, well, that isn't even challenging. I'm not going to say, I'm going to be very, very careful how I tell this story.
Oh, good.
But I was once working for a large multinational company.
Okay.
And I was doing some sort of media work for them.
Should we call this company Model Floggers?
Yeah.
In this example.
Let's call it that. And I was tired, and I happened to be in a city where you could gamble a lot. And because I know for a fact this video no longer exists. And I was talking to a young lady on the internet. I told this story to you the other day, didn't I, Tom? I've never told this story publicly.
No,
you told it. Nicholas, I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, I think you said that as well when you were about telling the story. I've never told this story publicly.
I think. And the young lady was talking to me in a particularly flirtatious way. And I said to me, send me a picture. I'll let you fill in the gap as to what picture you think I asked her to send. And she said, ask for it while you're working. And I concocted a very long-winded way of describing how 7th edition Thousand Suns guns were AP3 and therefore made Space Marines effectively naked. So it was like they were stood there naked. And it effectively managed to succeed.
Acquire
the mission tactical
acquire the relic.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And therefore, Codex Phil, if you think that was a tough challenge,
try that
in front of 1,000 people on the
Try acquiring my relics.
Try acquiring my relics.
Bring it.
It was honestly one of the longest diatribes I've ever had. And yeah, anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up. Sorry.
Mission succeeded.
Mission accomplished.
Mr. Stingray, acquire the nudes.
Who
Objective secured.
Who said anything about nudes? Who said anything about nudes?
Not me.
No.
Not me. Did you send you one of her in power armor? I could see it. No, anyway, Ryan.
that got derailed. How did we end up there?
That's a great story.
That was a good story.
That's a story that I've been sitting on for a long time. That's a great story. I'm really proud of that.
Should be.
I don't blame you, man.
Anyway,
pretty impressive.
Please continue.
All right, so now you have rune priests,
Yeah.
who are like Njal but not named, so therefore they're not as important.
So the psychic powers are really good, though, right? Would you
Yeah.
would you be tempted to take with Space Wolves just read because you kind of do some things, right? You look at the psychic powers and you go, right, they're quite viable. Where am I going to get those psychic powers from?
Yeah.
And am I going to run 3 rune priests? And then you also go look at the command traits. You go, okay, the command traits, that one's particularly good. Is it going to make something like a slam captain?
Yeah.
So do I make a slam captain? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
well, here's the thing. So Njal can cast 2 powers. Regular rune priests can also cast 2 powers. They just know fewer. So Njal knows 3 and casts 2, whereas rune priests know 2 and casts 2. So it's slightly less wasteful to take a rune priest, if that makes sense. So you can take a Rune Priest and Terminator armor. You can take a Primaris Rune Priest. Don't. And you can take a regular Rune Priest. And then you can give a regular Rune Priest a jump pack.
Ooh.
Okay.
Which is cool. So you can have him wandering around with his fly keyword. So
Yeah, I like that
Psychic
mobility
Curse.
with the Psyker.
They all get the 5+ invulnerable save.
They get 5+ vulnerable save.
They do for having runic armor. Unless you're Primaris, you don't get any.
Yeah, the Primaris ones are considerably worse.
I'm very jealous. I'm very jealous of their Psykers having invulnerable saves. That's not fair.
So if it's an Intimidator armor, it gets a 4+. It's not, it gets a 5+. And so they're jump pack Psykers, which cast 2 powers. And basically enable half your army.
I would say, would you say 3 is a sweet spot?
Well, there's a stratagem
I
that
don't think you need
specifically
3.
helps having 3 out.
Yeah.
Which
I think if you have 3, then you can have each one of the Psychic powers. I just think if you have 3, then you can have each one of the Psychic powers.
I would maybe go for one. I would go for the one that does multiple damage as a redundancy, or potentially have the cover. Like you could spread them out and have cover. I just like the idea that there's realistically 3 other sources of mortal wounds bar smites in there. So if you wanted to just go for it, you cast in 3 psychic powers, 3 attempts at smites. You could potentially be knocking that into your army.
Yeah.
And then some of the other stratagems work specifically only with a Rune Priest around.
I mean, what you can do is you can take 3 Rune Priests and Terminator armor, 3 Primaris Rune Priests, 3 regular Rune Priests and runic armor, and Njal. For reasons.
Yeah, for reasons. That's not as good, right? Yeah.
No, but you can.
Yeah.
That's how you get around that data slate stuff.
Yeah.
So then we have the kind of chaplain section. So you have Ulrich the Slayer, who's the named chaplain.
His model is really nice, by the way.
Yeah, it's good. I've got a copy and just
very cool.
ready to go.
Hold on, I'm going to try and find out how to pronounce Njal. We're learning together. Ready?
Okay, ready?
Njal.
Njol.
Njal. One more time for everyone at home.
Njal.
Njal. Thank you very much for that, Twitch chat, helping us out. Njal. Yeah.
That just sounds weird. Can you change the text-to-speech provider?
Njal.
Can you change it to like a lady?
Njal. No.
Okay.
Neil.
No.
It's Neil Stormcaller, basically.
Noel Stormcaller.
Yeah, Neil Stormcaller.
No, he's Noel.
From Model Floggers.
He's
Soon from Model Floggers.
He's Noel Stormcaller from Deal or No Deal. Thank you.
Nick, you've just renamed the news section of all of the shows. News from Model Floggers. Do you think there's a validity, and the question goes to everyone listening at home, I think there's a validity in potentially having 3 Rune Priests personally. I think that the ability to have 4 up invulnerable saves is pretty fucking brilliant.
If you're taking a base Space Wolf army, which is mainly Space Wolves, absolutely.
Yes.
It's whether or not you're just taking Space Wolves and plugging and playing into another Imperial army with a Knight and Guard.
Exactly. Yeah, which I think is, I think probably we're going to see some way that that's going to be destroyed in the future. Because that seems to be the
I would imagine so. But
main piss in the moon.
I still think that Imperial Super is one of the best lists out there at the minute, just because there's so many options for you. So so how many books can you take? You can take Guard. Guard are really good. You kind of need the Guard for command points and the regen. You can take a Knight. A Knight is really good. You just stick it behind the Guard and just shoot stuff for free. You can take Space Wolf, so you take a Rune Priest, you stick it next to the Knight, and then just send a bunch of guards charging around. But now you can use it 3 detachments.
I'm listening. Right? I promise.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry.
I'm listening and laughing.
You're good.
I can do both.
Or you could take. Then you're not taking the Smash Captains. There's so many good options.
Yeah.
You can only take 3 different detachments.
Yeah, Archeon's saying that it's far better than a Playcaster from, say, Death Guard. I think I think you can make 3 badass Psykers. And realistically, the Wolf Lords are good as well. Don't get me wrong, but the capacity to also be anti-psychers as well. An attempt to stop those 3 spells, those 3 enemies denies is a big deal.
It depends on what you're facing. It's either a big deal or it's worthless.
Well, but the psychic powers aren't worthless.
No, of course not.
Yeah. And also, a quick point, if we're deciding to call Games Workshop the Model Floggers, is the community team now called the Model Flogger Bloggers?
Yeah. Model Flogger Bloggers.
I'm not saying that.
The Model Flogger Bloggers. Go on, Tom.
Model Flogger Bloggers.
There we go, nailed it.
Easy.
So they're pretty amazing Psykers, realistically, which is weird out of all of them, and Death Guard, as Archeon's pointed out there, compared to the Death Guard Psykers, they're much better.
Yes.
Yeah?
I think Space Marine Psykers might, because you've got access to Death Hex. It depends on what
you don't have access to. Oh, I suppose you do. You can have Terminator, Sorcerer Lords.
You don't have access to jump packs.
They don't have access to
I
trap
don't
zones.
know. Do it?
Sorcerers do, yeah.
There you go.
Sorcerers,
That's what you're
yeah.
jealous of.
The 4 of the
Oh,
saves.
multiple saves. Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course,
and the
yeah,
2-up
sorry.
saves and the runic armor.
Boy. I'll get a 3+ save in Rune Power.
No, you get a 2+ save in runic armor.
It does 3+ save, yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, he's got a 2+ save in runic armor.
Yeah, but he's special.
Well, you
he's
know.
He is special, you're right.
got plot armor. He's got a name. That's how it works.
All right,
Made
so
of pure platinum.
let's move on. Let's move on. I think, personally, for me, I would be looking at doing something with the 3 psychers. I think I would obviously have to design a list, but I was just saying.
Also, but ironically, you've got Ulrich the Slayer, who's the named Wolf Priest, who has a 3+ armor save and has plot armor. But you have an unnamed Wolf. Oh, wait, that has Terminator armor. Never mind. Sad.
Sad.
All right. Wolf Priests. They're basically chaplains.
Yes, but
Yes.
they are almost apothecaries as well,
Yes, we do some
because they can't resurrect someone, can
No,
they?
but they can
just
heal stuff.
healing balms. They just spread a bit of lotion on somebody.
Yes.
And
The
they're-
chat is
they're all
Healing
dead.
balms. Like, the chat's been fantastic today. I don't know what's happened. They must have missed us. Go on. Sorry, Tom. You're the leader on this one. You're my wolf. lord.
You're the wolf pack leader.
You were saying something, were you?
I was saying they're chaplains, but they're also kind of apothecaries as well.
They can heal a Space Wolf's infantry, biker, or cavalry unit within 3 inches of them. If that unit contains a wounded model, it can immediately regain up to D3 lost wounds. So infantry doesn't really do too much unless it's a character.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But cavalry, you can shoot a tranquilizer into that Thunderwolf cavalry's arse.
Mm.
And nice and healthy again. Because the Thunderwolf cavalry, I believe, have like 4 wounds. So
Mm.
you can regen one of those up.
But can these keep up with them though?
No. Well, this is the thing. I think you're going to go.
Because you've got to be
through-
within 3 inch.
Well, you can take a Wolf Priest in Terminator armor.
Yeah.
And you do this at the end of the movement phase, so you can deep strike the
Deep
Wolf
strike
Priest
them
and
down.
Terminator down, and then do it.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
you can take a Wolf Priest. Don't take Primaris Wolf Priest; it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It does suck.
You
All
can-
the Primaris suck, right?
Primaris are garbage.
In Space Wolves.
Yes.
Yes.
Or you can take a Wolf Priest with a jump pack.
Oh, a jump pack. There you go. He's definitely keeping up then.
It's almost as if they made the Primaris suck because Space Wolves have got enough of their own model range that they don't want to sell any of the Primaris models
Yeah.
for Space Wolves.
Mm.
They want to pull some other
It's also
sales
they're
channels.
trying to flog models.
It's
on
like,
it.
yeah.
These model
I
floggers.
imagine there's a cracking blog about it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got 4+ in vulnerable save space. I don't know if that's a thing on regular chaplains.
Yes. Yeah, they all
I
have
don't
that.
see them, so
They
I
all-
don't
they
know.
all- They all have that.
Right.
Yeah.
You also have a leadership bubble, so if you're a regular Wolf Priest or friendly Space Wolf units within 6 inches, use that Wolf Priest leadership. If you're Ulrich the Slayer, you have a 9-inch bubble.
Yes.
Chaplains have the exact same rule, I think, as well.
There you go.
Right. Also, someone's asking if Thunderwolf Cav are good as shield captains. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I think so. Yes, you can do something similar. You can have quite a lot of They don't have access to the stratagems that give them the ability to ignore a bunch of Overwatch and other stuff.
They don't have fly. They're not quite as durable as shield captains.
Yes, but they are. Are they cheaper?
I don't remember.
All right. Oh, we'll look at it in a
I think
minute.
shield captains are like 180 points, and then the
But are Wolf Priests good? No.
Wolf Priest. No,
Wolf-
not really.
No.
You get access to a lot of... The reroll to hits isn't as helpful for you because you're normally hitting on 2s anyway.
Yeah.
And then if you want that, you just take 7 battle eyes to reroll 1s to hit. So you don't really need the Wolf Priest as much.
Agreed. Next up.
Okay, we've got some special characters. Now, I heard you guys really liked to model earlier.
I do like to model.
I do like to model, yes.
I remember this character used to smash his way through full infantry blocks.
Right.
Now he doesn't. He's called Ragnar Blackmane.
Oh.
He's got 5 attacks. You can take him with two loyal Fenrisian wolves, Svangir and Ulfgeir,
Nice.
and they attack with teeth and claws. So they have 3 attacks each for wolves at AP -1, so it'll be 6 extra attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Ragnar himself is armed with Frostfang, which is a melee weapon with +1 strength, so he's strength 5. AP -4, which seems unnecessary for something that's only strength 5.
It's amazing though.
And then damage 2.
Yeah.
So that's alright. He has 4+ invulnerable saves. And now here's the kicker. So he re-rolls charge rolls, and all friendly Space Wolf units within 6 inches, apart from vehicles, get to re-roll charges as well.
Yeah, baby.
The problem is he has no access to anything that makes him go fast.
Well, yeah, but
Well,
he does have a 4-up one save.
He could go in a
Yes.
drop pod.
Yeah.
He could go in a flyer.
He can
Go
go
fly.
in any of the flyers that they have.
Yeah.
He could go in a rhino and jump out later.
There you go. There you go.
But he does have access to a really cool ability, which we were talking about, Tom. Warhowl, you can reroll failed charge rolls for friendly space
That
walk
was
units
it, yeah.
other than vehicles
Yeah.
within 6 inches of Ragnar Blackmane.
Yeah.
So he's actually quite useful for that, I think, in my opinion.
That's the thing. This is the thing. Also, if he performs a heroic intervention, you increase his attacks by D3 until the end of the turn. So he can get up to 8 attacks plus 6 for the wolves. So we've got 8 attacks at strength 5, 80 minus 4 damage 2. Or potentially perhaps 6. But if you've got balls, he has 8.
Yeah.
So, like,
I think he's not bad on foot with some Wolfen, like running around.
Well, this is the thing. I think Wolfen already get reroll charges.
Oh, do they actually?
Yeah.
They already have reroll charges themselves?
And they get to advance and charge.
Oh, okay. It's just sort of keeping up with them.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
then that ability is probably a little bit useless because he probably can't keep up.
Yeah.
But you can outflank him, so you can have the capacity to bring him in on the board
Well,
within.
he just runs in by himself.
Well, but
Da,
what
da,
I mean
da.
is like if you're deep striking a unit, you can deep strike the unit near him where he's outflanking, and then use his reroll
Well,
charge on the deep striking unit.
I'm just going to double check this outflank striking because I want to make sure it's not just a one use only.
No, it's not. You can do
There
it
you
more
go.
times.
So you just Wolfen, Ragnar.
There you go. Reroll those fellas, although they already reroll charges themselves, right?
So the two doggos, if they are killed, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
So he doesn't take morale from dying, which seems irrelevant in because he's got leadership 9. So it's like normally he'd be fine.
Yeah.
You could at least take the rule out, and he's sad of the deaths of his loyal
Yeah,
companions.
I'd say they could have had a nice rule in for there, like maybe for each one of his
Gets an
wolves
extra
that's
attack.
died, it gets an extra attack or
Enraged.
strength or something.
Like
that.
Dryker.
Yeah.
There's a thing in Age of Sigmar with a special character where you roll a dice at the beginning of each turn, and she's either enraged or saddened. And you could have that, right? Like that would be really cool. Like his dog's died, he's either enraged and he gets like extra attacks and extra strength, or he's saddened and he it's got a longer charge
Yeah.
or something.
And then
Where you can't move from where they died.
Yeah.
Weak.
But you get 10 attacks while he's around that area.
I mean, he's got that massive heroic intervention of 6 inches and
Yeah.
all the extra attacks.
Yeah.
Just like Abbott. So he's another one of these that generates reroll to hit rolls of 1 for space off units within 6 inches. So,
He's a Jarl.
So basically, Ragnar Blackmane is, as Mr. Stingray is saying in the chat, John Wick.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's not John Wick because he doesn't have the John Wick rule.
Yeah, the John Wick rule.
Because he's got
If
no
you kill
rule
my
for when
puppy,
he's...
I'll kill your crime
Yeah,
syndicate.
he's got no rule to signify that.
Who
That's
put
true.
Theon in charge
Narratively,
of the crime syndicate
maybe.
Anyway?
Well, he was the son of the guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the... he was the
Theon is
son.
pathetic.
I like Theon.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Well, I like his arc.
Yeah, it's an interesting arc, isn't it?
Plus, what is dead will never die. Rise stronger and harder.
Yeah.
That's
It does
the Greyjoy Creed.
rises harder. So the next special character is a guy called Crom Dragongaze.
Oh wait, is Ragnar Blackmane not got a model? Is that what
He
we
does. It's a flat metal thing.
Is it ugly?
I'll bring it in.
Is it ugly?
I
Is it
don't- I
ugly?
don't
wanna
incredible.
go-
Because you're the
It's
expert.
incredibly old.
Is it?
Yeah. He's just like...
Exactly.
Just
It's not
sucks.
I was
It looks like
made
a chess piece.
for the old style metal molds, is what he's saying.
Oh, bless him.
great.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
great.
yeah, he's not good.
All right, Crom Dragongaze. We're talking about him.
My notes on this are not entirely sure what this is, and 3-inch -1 leadership bubble, I guess. And that's all I wrote.
What, Crom Dragongaze?
Yes.
So he's a single model armed with worm claw,
Yeah,
a bolt
he's
pistol,
pretty
frag
shit.
grenades, and crack grenades.
He's really shit.
He's pretty shit.
What he does.
He's just like, compared to the other guys, although again, just taking loads of characters seems really funny in my opinion.
Why
but-
would you ever take this? What does he do?
Yeah, he's just
He's got no
like,
narrative. He's just,
he's
been
just a
plugged in.
named Space Marine captain with an extra leadership debuff.
Does anyone know why this guy was
Hold
included
on.
in the book?
So Alandro is saying that he thinks that Crom Dragongaze's model is amazing.
He has a
And-
model.
And the way he's typing it, sometimes you just know that someone's
Excited.
He's really
taking the
intense.
piss, I think.
Oh.
I know, he's got a pretty cool model.
Where is he?
Yeah,
Is
man.
he in the book?
He's got like an axe.
Dragongaze.
He's got an axe.
I mean, I am looking at a cool mini or not painted version. But he's got an axe and a gun. It looks pretty
There's
cool.
some Primaris Marines in this book as well. Who knew? Let's see, there's a Ragnar model. Look at it.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob. There you go.
Oh no.
Oh, this is the guy from Tooth and Claw.
Yeah, he looks awesome.
Oh, that's why he's in the book.
That's why he's in the book.
That's why he's in the book.
He's just a wolf lord that you can't customize.
Yeah.
Oh, Servitor, hiya!
costs more.
He says it came out in 1994, I think, talking about Ragnar.
Oh, I can't. Yeah.
First model he ever bought. I'm very sorry. I mean, he looked great then, I imagine.
I mean, I still have one. It's like as old as me, but
Yeah.
you know.
Ragnar.
Oh, I've gone past. We've got more special characters in the elite section, which we can go through. That'll be fun.
So, Chrome Dragon Gaze, not sure about him. Harold Deathwolf.
Harold, where is Harold?
He's really cool, actually. So he's got Lord of the Wolfkin, which is all friendly Thunderwolf units, and friendly Fenrisian wolves, side wolves, and 6 inches of Harold Deathwolf can use his leadership. He's mounted on a Fenrisian wolf as well. So +1 attack to all Thunderwolf units is pretty big.
Yes.
Yeah. Because obviously, and he's also got Mantle of the Troll King, which is a great name. Add 120 saving throws you make for Harold Deathwolf against shooting attacks.
Not as invulnerable.
He's got not his invulnerable save. He's got 3 up normal save, so 2 up against shooting, and that can also stack with cover.
Yeah.
So that's pretty strong. Reroll hit rolls 1 for any Space Wolf units within 1. He's got Storm Shield, so he's got 3 up invulnerable save. He's also got Expert Hunter, so during deployment you set up Harold Deathwolf ready to outflank his prey instead of placing him on the battlefield.
Looks like it's about a plunge, that's
And
fine,
then
so that's
set him up within 12 inches of the battlefield edge and more than 9 inches away from enemy models. So he's a pretty kick-ass guy.
Yeah, I like that. He's got a really long range outflank, hasn't he?
Yeah, and then he's got 5 attacks at strength 6 with Gladius, -2, doing 2 damage each, and then and if you're wounded by him, and then on a 6 you take a mortal wound. 3 up saves, 7 wounds, toughness 5.
But it's only on unslain models.
Yeah, unslain models, yeah. But why is his name Harald?
Okay, so
Harold.
here's the
Harold.
thing. I think back in 2010 when we did the battle report for Space Wars, they had a character. So you know how they like to name their units and shit?
Huh?
In White Dwarf, when we do battle reports.
Yeah.
So they had a character in there. The Wolf Lord, they just called it Harold Deathwolf. And they made up a bunch of narrative for it, and eventually they made a model and slapped him in the book.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Nice.
He definitely started out as a White Dwarf thing. He might have had a model already, but we just renamed it.
Okay. Well, either way, Harold gives +1 to Thunderwolf units, which I think is important. So +1 attack on those guys, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Yes, I think if you're having at least more than one unit of Thunderwolves, you probably want Harold in there.
Harold!
Harold.
And then he's good with Fenrisian wolves and slime wolves as well.
Tom, you were right. Yeah, this guy was just a wolf lord or a wolf. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember back in the day.
And then you got a normal wolf lord, right? And all the types of wolf lord that there
Right,
are.
so you have Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf, Wolf Lord in Terminator armor, Wolf Lord in Cataphracti armor, Primaris Wolf Lord, and Wolf Lord in Gravis armor.
Don't take the Primaris wolf lord.
Or the Gravis armor Wolf Lord.
Or the Gravis wolf
Or
lord.
the Terminator Wolf Lord, or the Cataphracti armor Wolf Lord. Take Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf, or Wolf Lord with a jump pack.
Either of those two.
Or Harold.
And then you give him a Thunder Hammer and a Storm Shield.
Huh?
And you can give him a Thunder Hammer and a Storm Shield. Or, if you've got the Wolf Lord and a Thunderwolf, you can get a Belt of Russ, which is a 4+ invulnerable save.
Which is pretty badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so he gets that, but, Storm Shield is expensive, but that 3 up invulnerable save is pretty brilliant. 7 wounds, you know.
Buy the Belt of Russ, I guess, I think. I need to see how much it costs. Belt of Russ. I think the Belt of Russ is standard. They get a Belt of Russ is standard?
Yeah, for all the Wolf Lords.
What, on Thunderwolf?
Just for all the wolf lords.
It's not listed.
No, a wolf lord just has a belt of rust.
Just standard.
Just standard.
So you could pay 25 points for a Storm Shield. Or
No,
you could
15 extra points for a Storm Shield.
Oh, 15 points. Or you could just not spend those points to get a 4+.
Yeah, I mean, really depends on how much you want to chop and change. You might find that they end up dying enough that you want to upgrade to a 3+.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, Russ's wardrobe is full of belts. He did have a lot of belts. That's true.
The
A
2-time
lot.
champion of the world.
Huh?
Lehman Russ.
Yeah, a lot of belts. Yeah. Asphyxiation. But
You okay?
it's fine.
Are you sure?
What I'm asking is, do you think that do you think the jump pack version and copying things like copying the Blood Angel Slam Captain build is the way to go, or the Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf to me seems like a pretty bodacious pick.
It's situational.
It is, but like, do you think running 3 of these with Thunder Shields and fucking Thunder Hammers and just going for it would be fun?
I like the idea of
Yes.
having them in jump packs for the 6-inch Earth Intervention
And when you hit on
over
two,
your
it's with your
troops.
Thunderhammers.
Yeah, I
Slam
like
it.
that. But I think if I was doing an army,
You could even
I'd probably have them Thunderbolts just because they
You
look
could even
cooler.
have 2 on with jump packs and 1 Rune Priest, so you have the Rune Priest generating the interceptions, and then 2 for counter assault if they charge.
Well, I mean, a Rune Priest running around with these guys, so it gives them that +1 save to like cover save.
Yeah.
Means that they're all sat on those 2 arm saves as well, which is nice.
I still kind of feel like the Blood Angels version is better, not just because of the the +1 to hit is good. I like it with the Thunderhammers. The +1 to win is also good because you get the 2+ to win pretty much anything. But it's more that you can take a lot off, place them where you want. You can take Mephiston, who can move an absurd amount if you want. But these are low maintenance compared to those because you don't have to spend as much in terms of command points. Right?
Yeah, you can put your command points other places, which
Right.
is kind of interesting, right? Because like it means, and they've also got more wounds, which is key.
But then at that point, do you even need the guard? Because the guard are there to generate the command points. So if you're taking the guard, and then you've got a knight and you've got a Space Wolves attachment, it's like, okay, well, where am I spending these command points now?
I don't know if you necessarily need the guard.
Right, so it'll be an entirely different looking
Yeah,
army, and at that point, you might as well take something that you can push forward with the Thunderwolf Lords.
yeah. I think the Thunderwolf Lords and then Thunderwolf Cavalry
Yes.
like is as what when I look at this, I think you could try to make them play like Space Marines
Yeah.
with whirlwinds and rhinos and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
Or you can actually go right. Well, what do they have that's unique?
Yes.
And these are unique. They propose like what a really good example is like it's not impossible to do a couple of smites and get rid of a shield captain, a slam captain, but statistically it takes 4 smites to get rid of this guy.
I mean, many to be in your face.
and then there could be 3 of them, and they can all be equipped. Like I don't know, I quite like them.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Thunderwolves to deal with as well. They're not too expensive.
This is the thing with Thunderbolts. All my Thunderbolts died this weekend to Stormbolt of Fire.
Yeah, which do you not think having the +1 save from the priest would have helped? The Rune Priest.
I didn't have a priest with a jump pack; he couldn't keep up. But yes, it would have.
I mean, you can also put a priest on a wolf. Is that right?
I don't think so. I think you can only give him. a
Don't
jump
think
pack.
so.
Oh, okay. So you put one with a jump pack and have him keep up with them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So could you play an actual Space Wolf army? Says LLV. I think so.
Yeah, you can.
And then Codex Phil also thinks that the belt Thunderwolf Cav, in his opinion, and Alandrill's telling us that the belt of Rust is their Iron Halo, which I agree with as well. And then Ho Ho Teddy, be wary, chaps. CP armies like the Imperial Guard might be nerfed in the next chapter approved, which I think so as well.
I'm expecting.
I'm expecting that, which is why I'm not really talking about it. I tend to really only talk about stuff in context of their codex anyway when I look at them, and then I then go, what can I see how strong I can make it itself, and then I see what I can add.
I mean, here's the thing: lots of things could be nerfed next month.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, and whatever happens is going to shift what people are taking anyway. So it's very difficult for me to, because changing one thing has so many wider ramifications. It's like dropping a stone in a pool that has a ripple effect, right? So talking about anything other than how it is now, I don't think is particularly. If we just assume one change and that's it, and then
which is why I think let's just talk about it in the codex in the context of the book. KTM.
right, yeah,
Right. So next up, so Wolf Lords.
Wolfborn.
I think you can take a bunch of Wolf Lords.
yeah. Canis Wolfborn.
Oh yeah, special dude.
He is a special dude with lightning claws. He's a character with no vulnerable save.
Uh,
There you go.
Yeah, but you can hide at the back of the wolves, can't you?
Well, this is what you do. So he has a special
Give
rule
them
called
off.
Born of Wolves. He also only has 3+2. So you can make 1 additional attack with the claws or crushing teeth and claws. What? Teeth
Crushing
and
teeth and
claws
claws.
or crushing teeth and claws. Okay. It doesn't have teeth. Never mind. For all friendly Thunderwolf, Fenrisian Wolves, or Cyber Wolves that are within 6 inches of Canis Wolfborn at the start of the phase. So you can take him in a massive brick of Fenrisian Wolves, like everywhere. And I know people have loads of them because it's 7th edition, and he can make like a bunch of attacks. I don't know how many 40mm bases you can get within 6 inches of a model and still get that model into charge. But that sounds like you could get a lot of attacks just for bans.
Yeah, and you could also take the guy that add +1 attacks to Thundercav units as well.
Yeah.
It's like two each.
2 each.
The only thing
They
is,
get basic.
it
They get
looks-
5.
yeah.
No, they get, how many do they get? Each wolf basic. Sorry.
the wolf itself gets 3 attacks.
3, so it'd be 5 attacks each. 5 times 5.
That's pretty
Hitting
good.
hitting on 2s, rolling 1s.
No, you don't reroll ones.
Don't you?
They forgot to put it in.
What do you mean?
You can't. This guy doesn't have the aura that allows to
Yeah,
reroll.
but
yeah,
what
'cause
I'm saying,
he's- yeah,
I'm assuming you've got a wolf
But
lord.
he
here.
looks like a wolf lord to me, so why doesn't he do it?
I think he's a lieutenant because he's got the reroll ones to wound thing, isn't he?
Dude, I don't. It's just giving you a compliment. If you, are you on the? Can you see the
Uh,
chat?
No.
And he does reroll charge rolls.
Yeah. So next up, we've got a bunch of Wolfguard
I've
battle
got the
leaders.
book, man. There you go.
Huh?
Yeah. Tom's the expert.
I'm not. I'm just excited.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
no,
love
yeah.
this book.
So you got you got
Sorry.
Primarch battle leader,
It's
Wolfguard
fine.
battle leader, and Terminator armor.
Yep.
Wolfguard battle leader on Thunderwolf, and specifically their main special rule is Huskar to the R. We can reroll wound rolls of 1 for friendly. So these are lieutenants for Space Marines.
We're still in the HQ section, by the way.
Yeah, I know. You can reroll wound rolls of 1 for friendly Space Wolf units within 6 inches of this model.
Yeah.
So so you can reroll 1s to wound, which is fine.
And you can put them on. You can take a Primaris one, but don't.
You got an Iron Priest who's a Tech Marine,
And he sucks.
and he sucks.
Okay.
So we'll move that.
And that's the end of the HQ section.
That's the end of the HQ
So
section.
we made it, boys.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Alan Draws pointed out Arjak gives the riders +1 attack as well. You can give
Yeah.
a lot of attacks to a unit.
Yeah.
I think Arjak Rockfist is a really good pick. Arjak and Neil Stormcaller, for me, stand out as special characters.
I'm not personally as much of a fan of as Arjak as I'd like to be.
So we've been vulnerable save.
Yeah.
It gives you reroll wounds of 1.
Yeah.
What was his other thing that he did?
+1
He
attack.
teleports
Wolf
in,
Guard within 6 inches.
and then Wolfguard within 6 inches. Yeah, +1
I
attack.
don't see how many Wolf Guard I'm going to take.
Oh, that's okay.
He's quite slow after he arrives. What was it? And if you're taking him to generate for reroll 1s to wound, you might as well take a lieutenant. Because a lot of the units that you're going to be running around,
Yeah, but he does both jobs at once.
of course,
And he also lets you reroll 1s to hit.
but a lot of the units you're running around, no, he doesn't let you reroll 1s to hit.
Oh, is it?
So, no. So the units you're going to be running around, we've already spoken about, are Thunderwolf Cavalry,
Yeah.
which aren't Wolf Guard, and are faster than him, and Wolfen, which aren't Wolf Guard, and are faster than him.
That's good points. You've made good points. Right, so on to troops.
So,
Blood Claws.
with intercessors we can ignore, we can just do Blood Claws and Grey Hunters.
Yeah, Blood Claws
Yeah.
and Grey Hunters. So, special rules that they have before we go any further is Blood Claws have Berserk Charge, which is on a turn which they make a successful charge, you can make 1 additional attack in the fight phase. Headstrong, unless this unit contains a Wolfguard Pack Leader or Wolfguard Terminator Pack Leader within 16 of friendly Wolfguard, it must declare a charge in its charge phase if it's possible to do so. It's got a special rule Mixed Unit. For the purpose of determining what models a vehicle can transport, Wolfguard Terminator Pack Leaders have the Terminator keyword.
Yes.
And then Storm Shield, obviously 3 possible. So Crux Terminatus, this model has a 5 possible. So that's just describing the different types of.
Captain, yeah. Wolf
Yeah.
Guard Pack Leader.
Yeah.
But you can take 15 models in a Blood Claws unit, and then a Pack Leader. So you can have a 16 model unit,
Yep.
if you want to, and just run that across the board.
hmm
Um,
And they're basic Space Marines. Apart from their ballistic skill is 1 worse. They hit
Yep.
on 4s, but their weapon skill is still 3, 1 attack each. And obviously, unless they do a successful charge, in which case 2 attacks each, and they would be hit on 2s because they're Space Wolves, right?
Yep.
At strength 4.
Yeah.
And you can give them a variety of weapons. An extra attack with a chainsword, so 3 attacks each.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
And there are other ways coming up, I think, to get extra, more attacks with them.
Well, fighting twice as well from stratagems. There's another stratagem I think you're referring to as well.
Did the Wolfen give extra attacks?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so that'd be 4 attacks each.
With the Blood Claws, yes.
Wow.
But I think I'd rather just spend the points on the Wolfen, personally. I wouldn't want to be doing it out of these guys.
This is
'cause-
the main problem that Space Wolves have. Their troops aren't very good.
No. No. But they're not meant to be, right? They're like
It's Hero Hammer.
weaklings. It's Hero Hammer. This is the Hero
Yeah,
Codex.
Yeah.
This is heroes all day. Heroes and abominations. Gods and monsters. Cloud Runner. Thunderwolves have the Wolfguard keyword, so would benefit from.
But he can't keep up.
Yes, he would struggle to keep up with them,
Yeah.
definitely.
You get one turn
Yeah.
in, and then they just go.
Thanks, Cloud Runner. So then, Blood Claws, do you rate them or not rate them? Just give me your thoughts.
They're the same cost as the Grey Hunters, which is the only thing that's stopping me from rating them.
Okay.
If they were 1 point cheaper, then I'd rate them.
What do you think, Nikos?
I like them just because they seem quite fun. I think they'd be quite fun in an army just to see how many attacks you can get stacked up on them and charge them into something. And also they've got a bit of a place in my heart because when I was really young, one of the first Warhammer books I read was Ragnar Blackmane when he was a Bloodclaw.
All right, okay.
So,
Alright, that's fair.
A special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Just here.
And then Ho-Ho Teddy saying Blood Claws with Wolfen, best combo. Next up, Grey Hunters, Tom.
They're Space Marines. But you can take a Wolf Standard, which allows you to reroll ones, 4 advances and charges. You can take a Storm Shield on your Wolf Guard Terminator Pack Leader or your Wolf Guard Pack Leader.
So they are Space Marines.
They're Space Marines.
And
What's
Space
the max
Marines.
unit size? Is it 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have 2 special weapons, which is slightly different to Space Marine tactical squads.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it, as far as I can
Yeah.
see, really.
It's
Isn't
the
it?
thing. Space Force troops choices are a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, but having 2 special weapons is cool.
Yeah. So you could take a... Well, here's the thing, actually. If you take a Supreme
your
Command
sergeant.
choice, you can still take Wolfen, because Wolfen are an elite's choice.
Mm.
So you can just take some characters and some Wolfen. You'll be fine. You don't
And
need
Grey
troops.
Hunters have got the Wolf Standard, like you said, and
Yep.
then they've got mixed unit. So personally, Grey Hunters can take chainswords in addition to everything else.
Oh, because they can have bolt guns and chainswords.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Personally, I think if you're going to take power armor, it needs to do a job. But having it on an objective at the back of the board, firing off
2 plus saves
2
and
special weapons, so you've got 8 ablated wounds with a 2-up
But
save.
the special weapons be things like plasma guns rather than things like las cannon.
Yeah, but the midfield's still like available shooting at range, realistically.
of course.
Although if your melee isn't sweeping the midfield, then what's it doing?
Dying, probably.
Yes. Intercessors, I don't think they're very particularly
They're the
useful.
same. Wolf Scouts, I think we've already kind of covered them.
Wolf Scouts.
Oh, worse Space Marine Scouts.
'Cause
And they
don't
should be
do the
better,
2v.
aren't they? Aren't they meant to be like?
They're meant to be better.
They used to be
narratively.
really good because you can take them special weapons. Is the thing, but like I said earlier, there's only 2 reasons you would take Scouts, and this unit can't do either of those things.
You just make it expensive, though. They're expensive to do that job too.
Yeah.
Right?
And they're like their behind enemy lines thing isn't even unique because you've got loads of other units that can do that, and there's a stratagem that can do that as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's not great.
And then you've got Reavers.
Which you can ignore. They're Primaris Marines.
And it's not that we don't think they're good. It's just that like you can have these in any
they're not
codex, so
special
it's not really worth. Effectively, give them +1 to hit, and they can ignore modifiers to shooting as some of the key things out of this book. But
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think they're good, but you know,
aggressors,
we skipped over them because they're
they are.
standard servitors. Skip over them.
Lucas the Trickster.
There you go. He's a blood claw.
He's a blood claw.
He is. There you go.
So his weapon is +1 strength, -2 damage, and he has Blood Claw's hero.
You
so
reroll to wound.
wound rolls of 1 for friendly Blood Claw units within 6 inches of this model, so that's pretty good.
Well, he personally also rerolls failed to wound rolls with his melee weapon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's got Pelt of the Doppengargle, and your opponent must subtract 1 from any hit
Doppengargle.
rolls that try to hit Lucas. And the last laugh, this used to be an amazing thing.
It used to be.
But basically, if Lucas Tricks is slain, fight phase, both players roll dice, re-rolling ties. If you roll the lowest, nothing happens. If you roll the highest, the unit that landed the blow immediately suffers D6 mortal wounds. So not bad. It used to be you used to kill the opponent, which was great.
Shoot him in the face.
Yeah, but now no. Yeah.
Wolf and Dreadnoughts?
Wolf and Dreadnoughts. Who would have thought? This is like putting a cat in a carrier basket.
They're not characters, right? Wolf and Dreadnoughts. They've got a 4+ invulnerable save for a Blizzard Shield,
That's a big deal.
which you can buy.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal, personally.
You can take the Great Axe, yeah.
Is that their big? Oh, so that's their They actually
You
a
have to
shield.
buy it though.
Yeah,
otherwise
it
you're just
replaces
gonna
a
die.
weapon, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a toughness 7 Dreadnought. If you don't take it, you're going to die. So,
Yes.
at this point, you might as well take a Great Axe and a Blizzard Shield and then just run around trying to reroll failed charge rolls.
So wait, the model. So you're equipped with a Great Axe, a Great Wolf Claw, and a Storm Bolter. The model replaces its Fenrisian Great Axe or its Great Wolf Claw
Yeah.
with a Storm Bolter.
And Stormbolter with a Blizzard Shield.
Yes.
And another Stormbolter.
Yeah. So which one would you keep? Would you keep the Fenrisian Great Axe or the Wolf Great Claw? So the Great Axe is Strength +4, so you're going to be Strength 10, -3 doing D6 damage if you're doing Cleave. And if you're doing Scythe, its Strength is used at -3, but you make 2 hits, so it's got a bit of utility. And then if you're doing the Claw, it's Strength +4, -2 doing 3 damage, but you get to reroll failed wound rolls for this weapon.
I was getting it confused with the Great Axe for Wolfenham. It's a different axe, so I'd probably get rid of the axe. So you have 2 storm bolters. Yeah.
Yeah. The shield has the storm bolter now. Yeah.
The shield has a storm bolter, and the Great Wolf Claw has a storm bolter.
Cloud Runner wants to make a point. Don't
Yeah,
underestimate 6 outflanking aggressors. Lots of admittedly low power shooting put in places you can get the best from them. I've used it to my advantage in games, and it's always valuable having feedback from people who've played with units.
The only issue with that is it's quite easy to screen off the aggressors because they've got 18-inch range and they've got to be outside of 9 inches. So you can pretty much control very well what's the aggressor going to hit, provided you have some kind of screen built into your army.
Your opponent might be able to control.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, if they built that into their army list. Yeah, definitely.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I think aggressors are amazing. Like, I want to just hold. I want to run Flamestorm aggressors and just sit on objectives and just like this.
The only problem is that the Flamestorms are objectively worse than the Autobolt Storms in every regard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I do think they're good. And the ability to outflank in this book is quite unique. So being able to do that with aggressors is also quite unique.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's really cool, and is worth mentioning.
It's less risky than Raven Guard as well, because with Raven Guard you stick them in your opponent's face, and then if they see you obviously use first, but it's situational. You're only going to be able to use it half the time. Whereas
it's worth picking up on.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, we don't have a Wolf and Dreadnought.
I like the Wolf and Dreadnought.
You also may replace any Storm Bolter with a heavy flame.
How cheap is that? How cheap is the Wolf and Dreadnought? Like, can I take 3 of them and just run around?
I don't think it'll be that cheap. I'm going to double check anyway. Wolf and Dreadnought. It's an Elite's choice. Wolf and Dreadnought. Oh,
what?
70 points.
70 points.
Wait, but what about the?
Yeah, there you go.
Blizzard Shield.
So if I take the Great.
Oh wait, I know. I've got the points here actually. Blizzard Shield 15 points.
85.
So, 85 points, and then we're going to take the axe.
No, we're going to take the Wolf Claw.
We're taking the axe.
Okay, fine.
All right, we'll take the claw.
Fine.
Claw is 45 points.
How much is the axe?
The axe is
17.
50 points.
50 points for the axe.
Yeah. So it's going to end up being somewhere around the 140 points mark.
That's not too. And then a heavy flame and a storm bolt.
Oh no, you can take 2 storm bolts.
Don't know. That's fairly cheap. 3 of them running around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't. They're not characters, so you can shoot them, but they do have a 4-pin run save at toughness 7. Not bad.
You stick them in front of your Wolf Lords and then you go. And these are just standing behind the Dreadnoughts. It's just the Dreadnought to run forward.
Yeah, I mean, they can run forward, right? They're like movement 8. They could just dash up the field.
Yeah, and then you advance. Yeah. You got lots of ancients over here. You got a Great Company Ancient, a Primaris Ancient, a Great Company Champion.
Apparently, the Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine game is on Humble Bundle on Steam today.
Is it on PC?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Great Company Ancient, so he does what they do for other Space Marine chapters, which allows you to shoot or fire again.
Yep.
Which is more difficult to do because you're probably not taking
a relic
shooting.
banner.
Yeah. Then you got a Company Champion, which is the same, and a bunch of other stuff. Wolfguard.
Wolfguard.
Yeah. 1 Wolfguard pack leader and 4 Wolfguard. They are the same as Space Marines, apart from
they have access to lots of special ones.
They've got Space Marine veterans.
Yeah.
So got 2
they're
attacks
company veterans.
Yeah.
And they can all take combi weapons.
And our Jack can give them more
And
attacks.
they can all take jump packs as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's interesting, but I think the reason I like Nick's power armor, and I talked about at the top of the show, was I respect their ability to be in cover, tanking 2-up saves with annoying special weapons. I don't think these guys out in their open with a bunch of special weapons is what I would take personally.
No, I don't think so either.
Okay, Wolfguard Terminators.
But you can put them all in, depending on how expensive it is. You can have them all with. You can have 5. You can have 10 with combi plasmas dropping down with jump packs.
Yeah, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but it's
dropping them into
expensive
cover.
as balls.
Yeah, it's probably expensive.
And then they're going to get wiped out off the board. Like, will they do enough in that single shooting phase? The reason your plasma ones are so good for the Chaos Marines as well is because you can fire twice. They don't have these guys don't have access to that. So you play to the strengths of the book, right? I think.
Yeah.
Wolfguard Terminators.
They're Terminators.
And Terminators are traditionally considered to not be in the best place currently.
Agreed.
Especially when we compare them to Wolfen in a minute. They're 2 wounds with a 2-up save, and obviously they've got... but they can teleport.
Yeah.
Dreadnought, just a normal Dreadnought. Fine, move on.
Wolfguard Cataphractii Terminators.
Same thing.
Tartarus Terminators.
Same thing.
Venerable Dreadnoughts.
Same thing as
So
Dreadnought.
they suck so hard they suck in Dawn of War 2.
Venerable Dreadnought. What can you make use of? No. Contemptor Dreadnought. I don't know. No, you can't.
No.
Contemptor Dreadnought, Redemptor Dreadnought is the worst of the pick,
Yeah.
and it looks ugly. Wolfen.
Do you want to do the Murderfang before we leave Orphan? Because the Murderfang is another Dreadnought.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So the Murderfang is a character Dreadnought,
Woohoo!
which re-rolls charge rolls,
That's the second character Dreadnought.
and if it makes a successful charge, you can increase its attacks by 2 until the end of the turn.
Do you know what?
7 attacks.
I can see Murderfang. I can see the 2 Dreadnoughts and then 3 Dreadnoughts, the Wolfen Dreadnoughts we just talked about. That's still less than 1,000 points.
Yeah, Bjorn.
Huh?
Bjorn for your HQ.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. Yeah,
Yeah.
so those 2 plus 3, those other 3 running up the board.
Wait, Murderfang isn't unique, right?
Yeah, he is.
Is it?
Okay, only one can maybe.
Ball. You don't see that. That's it.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got the murder clamps.
He's also got Murder Lust. So yeah, 7 attacks, hitting on 2s.
If you charged, yeah.
If you've charged.
And then rerolling to wound at strength 12, AP minus 3, damage 3.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, there you go.
I like him.
And there's another character in this.
Alright, so the Wolfen contain start at 5 and they can go up to 10. Each Wolfen fights with Wolfen Claws. Pack Leader's got Frost Claws. So they hit on 3s in combat. They're a combat unit. They're strength 5, their toughness 4. They have 2 wounds each and a 4-up save. Any model may take a Storm Frag Auto Launcher, so you could have 10 of these if you wanted.
They're D3 shots, 12-inch ranged bolt guns.
Yeah, so D3 shot, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1 for 4 points. Probably wouldn't take them.
Yeah, BS 5.
No, then any Wolfen may replace their Wolfen Claws with Frost Claws, a Great Frost Axe, or a Thunder Hammer, and Storm Shield.
Yeah.
So while super expensive, you can have 10. These are basic. You can make them Terminators, right?
Give them. We also have a 5+ D PR on your last wound.
Yeah, damage prevention roll.
Only on your last wound.
Only on your last wound.
Yeah, with Death Frenzy, and they got 2 wounds each.
Yes. So the first wound you take, you won't get it. The second wound you take, you will.
Yeah.
So you make 1 additional attack for models in friendly Space Wolves infantry, biker, and cavalry units that are within 6 inches of the unit visibility, and that is extended to 12-inch range for blood claws.
Yeah. And you can reroll failed charge rolls for friendly Space Wolves infantry, biker, and cavalry units within 6 inches. Again, 12 inches for blood claws. So they get to. So obviously they're within range themselves, so they get to reroll charge. They can advance.
They don't get the extra attack though. It is stipulated.
Yeah, they get to advance and charge.
Yeah, they do.
Right. So that's important. And then movement 7.
Yeah.
So you can be effectively moving 13 inches, then charging, which is pretty big. And they've got 3 attacks each. The leader's got 4 attacks. Hitting on 3s. Obviously, once they've charged, that would be hitting on 2s. Or if they get charged, they're hitting on 2s. Dionysus, wait, my friend cheated the other day. I thought the DPR wasn't all of the wounds. It's easy to miss that, I think. But yeah. So, and then the Wolfen Claws, if that's what you decide to take, strength is user, so strength 5, -1 doing 1 damage. So you can really kit these out. You can have them like, half of them are going to go through tanks, half of them are going to go through infantry. But I mean...
Oh, no, hold up. I think you might be right. It might be all of them. Roll a d6 each time a model in this unit loses a wound. On a roll of 5+, that unit is not lost. That wound is not lost. If a model in this unit is slain in fight phase, and it used to be in the index, it was just the last wound.
Oh, there you go.
Now it's not.
It's been changed.
He didn't cheat.
There you go. So Dionysus, he's fine. You can applaud him.
Can be your
but
friend
I love
again.
the idea of doing 30 Thunderhammer attacks. Yeah. And just whomping with Storm Shields. That's how I build them, because I'm an idiot.
I have 6 with Storm Shields.
Yeah.
They're fun. They're 4+ armor safe.
So basically, Black Lord Terminators. High Moon Tyranid. Yeah, like, you could build these guys exactly how you want to build them. The ability to advance and charge, I think, is massive.
Yeah, it's good.
Really, really good. The ability to have those 3 up invulnerable saves is really,
and you can
really
have
good.
a flank and reroll.
Would you guys be putting these in a transport to get extra, sort of to protect them if you don't go first, and then
No, 'cause
to
I
use
want
the extra
big brick.
movement.
Yeah, I'd want
Yeah.
a couple of
Yeah.
bricks.
Can you put him in a Land Raider?
What's the max size?
10.
10. And
10.
they count as 2
Okay.
transports.
Could have them in a Spartan.
Hmm.
10 in a Spartan.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they need it. They're fast enough. Movement 7's fire and advance and charge. So it's 7 plus D6 movement with a rerollable charge
25
afterwards.
potential inch charge.
Yeah, like they're decent. Like I'm comfortable with that. I can use a strat so that they so they outflank, so they end up within 6 inches of a board edge and 9 inches away from the enemy, and then I've still got a rerollable charge. I can make them super defensible. I can I can either just be silly and just have all Thunderhammers or Storm Shields, or I can mix and match. I can have half and half. Some of them are just wound takers.
Personally, I found the Great Frost Axes to be really, really good because you make an additional attack when you're fighting with them, so they have 4 attacks each.
And they are strength +3, so they're strength 8 -3, doing D3 damage.
Yeah.
Which is pretty
really,
phenomenal.
really good. Hitting on 2s as well.
Yeah, hitting on 2s as well.
Yeah, so you could take the Thunderhammer, but you'll still be hitting on 3s with that in the first round of combat because of the special rules that you get for having a Space Sword attachment.
Yeah.
I quite like the Frost Claws just because you get those reroll wounds.
Me and Archean are in the same place. We would run 10 of these each. I'd just run 10 of these around, just being absolutely...
They're annoying because if they hit you, then you're not getting out without dying.
Yeah, like you've really got to deal with these guys.
Yeah.
And then it's 20 wounds in the unit as well.
With potential invulnerable saves and a 5-up Feel No Pain.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, that's pretty tough.
5-up TPR, I'm so sorry.
DPR, yeah.
Yes.
Can you can get 8 Wolfen in a Storm Wolf. I prefer Spartan myself though, so it's kind of
Perfect to have the
me
right,
too, because
the
it's
right
old
number.
school.
Yeah.
Huh?
Perfect to have the right number.
Yeah.
Now I need to buy a box-looking stupid ass.
Plus the Wolfen look great, these models.
They do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know you're not a fan of some of the
and based on that information,
but
either
sure.
Thunderhammers or Great Frost Axes, there's very few units that are going to be able to deal with these in melee.
You can take the claws. I just like the winning on 3s rather than the 4s reroll
I mean, it's a lot cheaper to take the claws.
because of the amount of damage. Yeah, it is. But I feel like if you're going to take this unit, you want to invest in it so it can actually smash stuff.
What do you think they cost? Do you like them? Because you play a lot of Khorne Berserkers, right? What do you think of these guys?
Well, they're different to Khorne Berserkers. Khorne Berserkers are, I'd say, less elite than these guys.
These guys, yeah.
These guys would kill. Khorne Berserkers are very good at killing lots of infantry with it. I don't think these would kill lots of infantry. Well, they would kill a decent amount of infantry very well. I can see these guys are probably better than Khorne Berserkers at killing like tanks and knights and things like that because they've got like high strength and good rend.
And like
High
Arceus
damage
pointed
stuff
out,
as well.
these guys don't just have that 3+ invulnerable save, they also have the 5-up after damage roll.
Yeah.
DPR.
DPR, damage prevention roll, yeah. DPR.
We're getting there.
So that, 54 effective wounds, realistically, from that unit. So it's a little bit deceptive. They batter my Bullgrims.
Yeah.
They beat them up.
Even with a 2-up invulnerable save.
No, they only get the invulnerable save against shooting.
Oh, right.
They can improve their save to a
what was
3-up
the
invulnerable
max?
save, but they can't do it in combat. The 2-up invulnerable save is only against shooting.
Okay, but 3-up in combat though.
3 in combat, but these guys, but these guys have got weight. Or unlike most other units, these guys have got weight of dice on their side. So they've got a ton of attacks.
And then you just every time you fail, it stings.
Huh?
Every time you fail, it's a save. It just stings.
Yeah. But then it's the same. Yeah. I like them anyway.
I really
think
like
they're
it.
good.
They're a lot of fun to play with.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So.
That, especially that advance that you roll an advance roll. That's a 6. Well, they're 13 inches. Roll a charge. That's an 11. Like, okay.
I didn't even have the advance roll. I just outflanked them with a deep striking wolf priest for banter, even though it wasn't very good, but it was cool. Drop them down, slap someone. Be great.
Yeah. Cameron says, in defense of the Stormwolf, it does have a look of a Viking longbow. If you squint and use your imagination, that's how I justify using them.
That's how you just file down the side.
Yeah. Right. Skyclaws and
Assault
Swiftclaws.
Marines, bikers.
Assault Marines and Bikers. No different, no worse.
And then more bikers.
Apart from Berserk Charge on the Swiftclaws.
Yeah.
And on they both have Berserk Charge.
And they've got BS4 as well.
So +1 attack if you've charged. You've got Swiftclaw attack bikes, you've got Land Speeders, which is the same, Inceptors, which is the same as all Space Marines.
Yep.
Thunderwolf Cavalry.
Boy!
So in movement 10, they've got their toughness 5, they've got 3 wounds each, they have a 3-up save naturally, and you can give them a bunch of different stuff. They all have storm shields. They've got.
Well, they can have storm shields.
They can have storm shields. Sorry, they can replace they start off with a chainsaw.
Bolt
and you
pistol
can replace their chainsaw with a storm shield, and their bolt pistol and bolt gun and plasma pistol with anything from the melee weapons list. So you can kind of kit these guys out. Start as a unit of 3, and they can go up to a unit of 6.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the max you can have. Movement 10, obviously they hit on 3s. If you charge, you're going to hit on 2s because of what they are. And then their wolves get 3 attacks each. At strength 5, AP 1, doing damage of 1.
Yes.
So a unit of 6 would be knocking out 18 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Hit on 3s, hit on 2s if you charge. Strength 5 minus 1, doing 1 damage. So that's nice because what it does, it allows the mount to kill infantry if that's what you need them to do.
Yeah.
And it allows you to kit the guys on top just a little bit with special weapons.
It's a nice little bonus.
Yeah.
But you could really kit them out to really mince infantry. Like, instead of having shooting attacks that just, like, kill hordes, like, these guys could do it. If you get, like, I presume you can give more lightning claws. I love lightning claws.
Yeah, you can.
So I think
You can give them double
big in
lightning
at
claws if you
6
want.
with double lightning claws going in. So that's, what you say, was it 18 attacks on the wolves?
Yeah.
18 attacks on the wolves and then 12 attacks.
On the raiders. 13
But then,
because you got
yeah.
a pack leader.
Yeah, 13, but then they get an extra 1 for pair lightning claws.
Yeah.
So another 19
16, yeah.
attacks.
It's like
Basically all hitting and then rerolling all your wounds as well. It's like an
Right.
absolute mince.
Let's try to
Infantry
rifle
bombs.
through this
Yeah.
because we don't have,
We're
we
running
don't
out of
have much luck. We've been
Yeah.
going a while. So what do you guys think of them?
But I think they're fun. I think they're really good.
Do you think they're competitive?
I feel like you need a rune priest running around them to make them competitive.
I agree.
But maybe. I'll give it a try.
And those 2 special named characters riding wolves as well.
No, not personally. No, I feel like Canis, like, he's a bit too much of a point sink for what he actually brings. Just going to kill stuff you're going to hit anyway. And then Harold, I don't feel like he's necessarily mandatory. Does that make sense? I mean, maybe. I could be wrong, but I haven't played with him yet, so I couldn't really tell.
Yeah, for me, I would start here and I would go with max units, and then I would play another game where I just hit units of 3 and see how survivable they were.
Yeah.
I feel like unit 3 could get bullied off and like a flank if that's what I'm looking for. Realistically, they can take a punch, which is nice. They've got mobility. I really like the Wolfen, but they're not quite as mobile. But arguably, they're more mobile
because you got the run and charge.
You got the run and charge.
You only need a 3 to be the same movement as them when you're running.
And you got more wounds in the Wolfen. Maybe, but it's
harder.
They're
harder to shoot as well because they're smaller models. So you can hide them easily.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think their toughness 5 though. That helps.
Yeah.
In a big way.
Yeah.
That really does. And don't forget the difference between toughness 4 and toughness 5 is big.
Yeah,
for some people.
Bolters, for example.
Yeah, Bolter's a really good example. So yeah, for me, I would be looking already. Just what stands out to me in this codex so far has been the Rune Priests, a couple of the special characters. There's a fun Dreadnought thing knocking around, but that's,
don't talk about that. No.
And then the Thunderwolf Cavalry. So far,
and the Wolfen?
The Wolfen, yeah, the Wolfen, the Rune Priests, couple of special characters, and the Thunderwolf Cavalry. Yeah. They stand out, which is pretty. I feel fairly obvious. You've got Fenrisian Wolves.
You got doggies and robo doggies.
They're fine.
You can't stick characters in them anymore. Whoopsie. Sorry, carry on.
I'd want to see. I don't know, because there might be something you miss, like with the flocks, right?
Maybe. But the sidewalls are also okay because you can take an individual sidewolf and just have it sat at the back, just knobbing about.
Yeah, and they're going to be difficult to find, right? The wolves.
You don't want to have to go and hunt down an individual poor doggo.
Yeah. Then you got Wolf Scout bikes.
I like these because you can outflank them and come on with a bunch of bolter shots. So you fire all your twin link bolters off front of your thing, and then you fire the shotguns for an extra 2 shots. So you just come on with a bunch of bikes, host them it.
Do you think they would do better than Inceptors?
Yeah, they're cheaper than Inceptors. They're kind of like aggressors because they're toughness 5.
Night Trucker Boy.
They come on with a bunch of shots. They come on the side with a bunch of shots. You host something down. You got to deal with them, otherwise they're going to run away because they're super fast. You know, we're alright.
They asked to move in 16. Wow.
Yeah.
Sidewalls.
And take an individual one, hide it somewhere.
Just hide it. Just one.
Don't hunt down my poor doggo.
Alright, this is my unit now.
Long fangs.
Long fangs.
Yeah, I have loads of these. Heavy bolt long fangs, please.
I would have these. So any long fang races bot come with anything from the heavy weapons list. So it's a Devastator squad. You can design it how you like.
You can only include one additional long fang, I think, so you can't pad it out with extra bodies who don't take special weapons, like you do with your Havocs, for example. So I might be tempted to take them with heavy bolters, stick them in a Rhino, drop them out.
Well, the heavy weapons list you can do, yeah.
But the problem is you're very susceptible to losing the expensive ones with the heavy weapons quite early because you have no way to pad out the unit. So if you take a cheaper heavy weapon like a heavy bolter, for example, or you take a transport or something like this, it makes them actually survivable, so you can actually hit.
Yeah, you don't need to take a heavy weapon though, but you could if that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, with long fangs. Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, and then the pack leader can replace a bolt gun, bolt pistol, or plasma pistol with a special weapon list. And then same with the Wolf Guard guys if you wanted them to do the same.
Well, I think what you can put a Terminator in a Rhino now, right?
Yeah.
So you take a squad of 6, and then you add a pack leader in Terminator armor with all the close combat weapon things. You jump all the guys out. You shoot your heavy weapons, so like 5, 6 heavy bolters, whatever it is, with the lacking no profile thing rerolling to wound.
You can only have 4 heavy bolters, can't you?
No, because you can take 1 and 4, and then you can take an additional long fang, so you can take 5 heavy bolters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then they shoot the squad, you take off the heavy weapons, you then lone wolf and then run around with the remaining guy.
Arise Gaming, nice to see you here. He says pack leader with a Cyclone missile launcher.
Oh, you can take the Cyclone missile launcher too.
That could be cool too.
Yeah.
That could do a good job. So they've got, the reason I think that these guys are great is they've got fire discipline, which is at the start of each shooting phase, pick one enemy unit on the battlefield, probably the one you're going to shoot. You can reroll hit rolls of 1 for any models from this unit that target the enemy unit you pick that phase. I mean, it'd be fascinating if someone picks a different.
You just need to know what you're going to shoot at the start of the phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they've got so they've got that, which I think is a big deal, right? I really like that.
Yeah. Hellblasters are the same.
Hellblasters, so long fangs are a hot pick for me because that reroll 1s is big.
So you don't need to have a Wolf Lord babysitting them, basically.
No, they can sit at the back doing their job of being devastators in cover.
The lieutenant might be alright.
Yeah.
Hellblasters do what Hellblasters do. Hunter does what Hunter does.
Stalker, Whirlwind,
Predator. Demolisher. Can I quickly talk about Demolisher? Because I was rereading it the other day.
The Demolisher. What do you mean, Demolisher?
Not Demolisher. Demolisher cannon.
It's not a Vindicator.
A Vindicator. Can these guys take Vindicators?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I missing it?
Yeah, it's after the...
Demolisher cannon, it's heavy
Predator.
D3, strength 10, AP 3, damage D6.
When attacking when you have 5 or more models,
D6.
changes weapons to heavy D6. I get that it's ballistic skill 3 as well. I just think the fact it's strength 10, I just think the amount of bikes you see in the world.
It's just 24-inch range, that's the only thing. You get one shot, and then I think you have enough shots with it.
Yeah, maybe.
It's toughness 8, though.
It's tough to say. I just like the idea that it's D6 shots, strength 10 minus 3 D6, so you can kill a lot of those multi-wound bike models that we tend to see at the minute. I don't know, like it's fairly cheap, it's overlooked. People don't really give a fuck about them. They're fairly tough. They're that toughness 8, like I said. They don't have invulnerable saves though, so I'm probably
Toughness 8 helps, though.
Yeah.
Then you've got the Land Raider variants. You've got the Rhino and the Razorback.
all which are good choices, for different situations.
Rhino is good.
Land Speed Storm.
Drop Pod would be good, but it's not.
A Repulsor.
No, thank you.
And then you've got the 3 special flyers. So you got a Stormfang gunship, which can transport 6, and it's toughness 7, 14 wounds with threat save. It comes as standard with a Hellfrost Destructor, which is heavy 3d3, so on average it's going to be 6. Strength 6 minus 2 damage in the dispersed mode. But when you focus this stuff, then you've got heavy 3, strength 8 minus 4 doing d6 damage. Then you've got 2 twin heavy bolters, which if you want, you can replace them with twin multi-melters, which I probably would do, or Skyhammer missile launchers, and then Stormstrike missile launchers as well, which you can replace with las cannons.
Yes.
So you can make a pretty massive gunboat out of this, an anti-vehicle gunboat.
Yeah. Or you take the Stormhawk, which is is just a gunboat. So it starts with 2 assault cannons, or assault cannon, 2 heavy bolters, and an Icarus storm cannon. You can replace the heavy bolters with a Skyhammer missile launcher, which, strength 7 AP minus 1 damage D3, or a Typhoon missile launcher, which is the expensive 50.1.
Yeah.
It does the D6 damage.
Matty Jim Bob Jr. is just saying, I was just thinking, if I was a 9-foot tall space lycanthrope with a nigh impenetrable stab vest, I would definitely ride around on a levitating space chariot pulled by a super cyborg wargs.
No.
No?
No.
Why?
It's just silly.
I disagree.
That's over the top now, isn't it? Come
Just
on.
ride a massive wolf and be done
Stay
with
as a
it.
9-foot
Just ride,
monstrosity.
ride a massive wolf and be done with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, it is reasonable. So then, are you on the Interceptor, Tom?
Yeah, and it's just, you can change some guns for some other expensive guns.
And then you got the Storm Wolf, which can transport 16 Space Wolf infantry.
I don't like the Stormhawk Interceptor. I think it's crap.
I also think that the Interceptor is crap.
Cool, Stormwolf. This is a good one. I like this one.
Well, they've got a lot of ships, haven't
It's
they?
got a twin Hellfrost cannon. The only one that doesn't have the Hellfrost cannon is the one that's meant to be shooty. Makes no sense, but
Oh.
apparently that's how it works. So, oh well, whatever. It's got power of machine spirit, so it can fly around and shoot stuff without a problem.
It's full ballistic skill.
Yep.
It's a nice one to hit.
Supersonic, airborne. Yeah.
Come on, look at this. I mean, there's nothing else that can transport 16 Space Marines at that range.
Yeah. This one.
There's a Storm Wolf.
Yeah.
What's the generic Space Marine one? Storm
Raven.
Raven. Can that not do 16?
No, I can do 10.
Okay.
I think.
16
I
is
think maybe
massive.
12.
Yeah.
10 or 12, something like that.
Look at all that transport capacity in its nose, mate. Look at that.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's
So
a
you can
big
transport
nose.
loads, right?
Yeah.
And then,
transport-
and it's got some pretty good shooting. You can have twin multi-melters, Skyhammer. It does depend on the price. How many points is it?
Let's find out. So, base points. Can you guys read out the war gear for me so I can tell you?
What's
The
it
base
for?
points
The
of the Stormwolf is
Storm
165. It is the second
Wolf.
cheapest.
Storm Wolf.
The Interceptor is only 85 points, but when you pay for guns, the gunship is 175.
I like the Storm Wolf, personally.
I do. I mean, it's my favourite. So what guns does it have, mate?
It's
So-
got... Oh, yeah, look.
2 las cannons.
2 las cannon. So the las cannon are... I should have been on this page, shouldn't I? 25 points each, so that'll make it 215 points.
And then it's got 2 twin heavy bolters.
Twin, heavy bolter.
And a twin Hellfrost cannon.
So that'll be 34 more points, so that'll be about 250 points.
And then a Hellfrost cannon.
Which is 25 points. It's just under...
A twin Hellfrost
Oh,
cannon,
I'm deeply sorry. My bad.
50 points. 45 points.
So it's just under 300 points.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's a lot of points, isn't
There's
it,
a lot of
really?
points,
to transport
yeah.
When you
fellas.
stick 8 Wolfen in there, you go, yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
I
500 points.
yeah, but you could just... Why not just take 10 more Wolf and just have them running across the field?
Because they get shot.
Yeah.
You take 3 of these bad boys, you take 3 big units of Wolfen, and then you take some Rune Priests. Or
Alright.
jetpacks. Just for funsies. If you
Okay.
deep straight the Rune Priests, then you just run. I don't think it's good, but I think it'd be funny. Because you're just going to fly across them and you're going to drop out 24 Wolfen and scare the crap out of your opponent.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well.
Till they charge a screen, and then
Yeah.
they'll shoot you back.
Yeah! Alright. Do you want to go over a few of these stratagems very quickly? The important ones, the big ones?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, please.
So the very big one is called Keen Senses, which is 1 command point. So use a stratagem in your shooting phase, choose a Space Wolf unit from your army, and that unit does not suffer any penalties to its hit rolls this phase. And it works really well with the long fangs, so if you're moving and firing a heavy weapon, you just completely ignore it. Then you've got a few of these psychic power ones, which are like Living Storm. So Living Storm is you use it when you cast Living Lightning with one of your Space Wolf Psychers, and you inflict D6 more wounds instead of D3. And I'm guessing that'd work with the chain as well.
Yeah,
So that'd be really, really good.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That's the kind of psychic power you could try. You could almost have fun at sort of setting up. Like
Yeah.
you could plink away at little units to
Yeah.
like small and.
I've forgotten the Long Fang one as well. So the Long Fang one is for Wolf's Eye, which is 1 command point, and you use this stratagem in your shooting phase when a unit of Long Fangs from your army is chosen to make its attacks, and you can reroll either fail to hit rolls or fail to wound rolls. I'd normally go for to wound because
To
you're
wounds,
rerolling
yeah.
the ones anyway, right
Yeah.
with the hits, and you're ignoring the hit modifiers with Keen Senses. And then another one that I really, really like is True Grit. I don't know if you've got any favorites, but this one is use a stratagem in your shooting phase and choose a Space Wolf infantry unit from your army within 1 inch of an enemy unit, so in combat. And you can fire your auto bolt rifles, your bolt guns, your bolt rifles, your bolt carbines as if you're a pistol too. So you can just have a shooting attack with your guys in combat. Which
Yeah, that's pretty good.
got reroll ones to wound with Thunderwolf cavalry as well in here, which is pretty good.
So you've also got Cloak by the Storm, which
Yep.
is 3 command points. It's a lot. But use a stratagem if you're in your psychic phase, choose a rune priest from your army, successfully manifest psychic power. The opponent must subtract 1 from all hit rolls. The target Space Marine units Space Wolf units within 6 inches. That's really good.
Then you've got Chooser of the Slain as well, which is 2 command points, which is the Eldari 1 ally.
Mm-hmm.
So use a stratagem immediately after your opponent sets up a unit that is arriving on the battlefield as reinforcement and is visible to a rune priest from your army. Okay, so it is the way you said it was.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one is visible to a unit within 6 inches.
Yeah.
And then the rune priest can make a unit within 6 inches immediately shoot at that target as if it was the shooting phase, but you must subtract 1.
It doesn't say it has to be a Space Wolf unit. It's like
Oh.
Imperial
Capital
Knights.
in.
Now, do you think that's intended, or was that just a slip up?
It specifically says friendly unit rather than a keyword Space Wolves.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Yeah. But either way, so you can
I
pick...
just don't think they thought about it properly.
No, I don't think they thought about it properly. So you can put an Imperial Knight stood there, and you can just be like, "Hey, Overwatch them at full ballistic
Then it's
skill."
a gallant.
Almost
Yes,
full
boss.
ballistic skill.
And then it's a gallant with a heavy stubber.
Yeah. And then you've got Cunning the Wolf, which is what allows you to start units off the board and then deploy them within 6 inches of the board edge, but 9 inches away from the enemy.
Mhm.
And that's only 1 command point as well, which is great. Also, the one that allows you to shoot at units that are coming from reserve time
Yes.
is only 1 command point.
Yes. 2.
2.
Yeah.
2.
Chooser of the Slain.
So one of the coolest ones is Lone Wolf.
Yeah, I like that one.
So use a stratagem at the end of any phase if there's a Space Wolves infantry unit from your army other than a character or servitor or a wolfen that has been reduced to a single model. That model's wound characteristic is increased by 2. This only costs 1 command point, by the way.
Yeah.
It gains 2 wounds. It gains a character keyword. You can reroll failed hit and wound rolls for the remainder of the game. So you basically create like a super soldier.
Yeah.
So if you had multiple units of like 5 man.
You create a super soldier out of your super soldier.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
We've also been challenged, by the way, to fly out too. Canhammer Darren has asked if we are going to fly out to the Canhammer Team Tournament in 2019.
Definitely should do.
I'm choosing between a bunch of team events in America at the minute because originally I said I was going to go to Adepticon. I might go to Nova instead.
Yeah, so I think it's probably a nice time to shout out that there's a GoFundMe which is already paid to send one of us over. I'll include it in the show notes down below, but it's already paid for one of us to fly over to Adepticon, and then so if anyone wants to jump on that and help start to send more of us, that'd be greatly appreciated. It's kind of blown my mind that anyone's done anything on it at all. So yeah,
Everyone just really wants to see you.
Huh?
Everyone just really wants to see you.
What have you been saying about us?
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So you can have these little super soldiers.
Yeah.
From the Lone Wolf strat.
One of my favourite stratagems isn't even in the Space Wolf book.
Oh, right.
It's called it's a Dark Angel stratagem called the Lion of a Wolf.
Yeah.
And this is, so you choose a Dark Angel's infantry model, and you choose a Space Wolves infantry model, and you roll a dice for each. On a 4+, they suffer a mortal wound because they have a fight. And then, afterwards, they get to improve their strength, attacks, weapon skill, and leadership by 1. So you can have like a wolf, your cavalry if you're on a wolf slot. If you're a wolf
Does it
slot,
say
right?
infantry?
It has to be infantry.
Ah.
Yeah, so you can pick 2 characters, they have a fight, and they're eager to prove themselves, and they get bonuses to a lot of their stats, and it's only 1 command point.
And it also so that's if you were to take a Dark Angel detachment and a Space Wolf detachment.
Yes.
But it doesn't say that it has to be like a generic character, right?
No, it has to be an infantry model.
An infantry model.
Yeah, the thing is, I wouldn't do it to like a unit, because if it's like Wolfen, for example, if you allocate a wound to a Wolfen...
It has to be a character, right?
It might be.
I think it's a character.
It's
It might
character.
be. Okay, but it also has to be an infantry model.
Yes.
So you can't do it to a Wolf Lord on a Thunderwolf cavalry model.
No, but you can do it to a badass Logan Grimnir on foot.
Yeah, there's such a thing as a badass Logan Grimnar.
Just saying.
It's pretty badass.
There you go.
So,
Arjak.
Arjak, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is really, really impressive. What else was there? Was there something else? There's loads of
cool
pretty
stuff in
keen
here.
senses we've covered. Talismanic shield we've covered. I think that allows you to use unbind with a Space Marine character, which is important.
Yeah.
Laughter in the face of the god is kind of like any rerolls to hit don't seem particularly useful. Use a strategy in the fight phase. Choose a unit of Thunderwolf cavalry. This is overall wound savagery. You can reroll wound rolls of 1 for that unit in this phase. So that's actually pretty big. Especially
Yeah, if you didn't want to take the point, if you want to pay the points for the Thunderwolf Cavalry Lieutenant style hero.
There's also a couple of
Nice
relics.
and cheap to get that.
So you've got the Helm of Deerfast, so you can re-roll fail to hit rolls from this model's range attacks. Probably not great because it's only for one model. But you also have the Wolfenstone, which is you can make one additional attack for models in friendly Space Wolf infantry, biker, and cavalry units that are within 3 inches of the bearer. When they make their attacks in the fight phase, but not Wolfen. So you can put it on like a Wolf Lord inside a bunch of Thunderwolf cavalry and just go, have it, lads.
Now, if it's one additional attack for models,
Yeah.
is that
In Space Marine.
if
in
they're
Space
Thunderwolf
Marines.
Cavalry, because they've got their normal attacks and then the Wolf attacks, is it one attack each, or is it just
It's one attack for the model. So,
One attack,
I
so
imagine,
just one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that sounds
Yeah,
that
I
looks
was trying
pretty
to
cool.
game the
They
system.
don't
there.
have very many relics here. They only have 6.
Really?
Yeah, that's it.
That's because, so like,
No more combat CP regen.
yeah, that's because it really does feel like this was written before the other books
Yes.
and then has been put out after the other books. That's how I have read it. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree.
I wouldn't know.
Okay.
I don't really. You know.
Okay, that's how it
So-
feels when you read it. I mean, you've read the other codexes, right? So
Yeah.
overall, Nikos, if I Tom, you go first, Nikos, you second. Tom, how do you feel about this book?
Happy 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
I'm enjoying playing it.
All right, that's great. Are you going to play it for the next year, or are you going to maybe
No.
stick with your old Ari?
No, because it's Eldari.
This is your off army then.
Your
secondary
all of
front.
my armies are off
Yeah.
my off army.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this will probably be one of the ones I pick up first because it's really fun.
All right, Twitch chat. How do you think about it, Nikos? What do you think?
I've not been blown away by it, but I think if I was to play the army, I would ignore the generic Space Marine elements of the army and just focus on the Space Wolfy things like the wolves and the wolven, because
There
a
are
lot
no
of
wolves.
the stratagems, well,
Got him.
it's got me there. Bit of narrative, Tom.
Nom.
Knowledge there. Yeah, I just focus on like the Space Wolvy parts because a lot of these stratagems and everything is all centric around those kind of things. But yeah, the long fangs seem pretty nice.
Yeah,
Well-
I think things like the long
I think
fangs seem
there'll be
sensible.
a
You
lot
need
of,
some good
suits.
shooting in 40k, right? You can't just be all combat. That's definitely where I felt. So like I've tried to play very combat-y 40k with the Bullgrins, obviously, or with the Dragoons.
Yeah.
And I always found I needed at least some shooting backup to produce threat somewhere.
I think you've got to, because if you go in all combat, people always have stuff to throw in your way. Some chaff screens to throw in your way.
Just pick whatever you want.
Yeah, so you got, well, just clearing the screen or shooting, at a valuable
Exactly.
target you want to shoot.
So yeah, I personally, I agree with your sentiments. I think there's definitely a Hero Hammer sort of codex
Yeah.
feel to it. There's also, like the special units feel like special units, which is nice. Slightly different to the Dark Angels codex. So the Dark Angels codex seems very centered around plasma, but their special units seem to get a bit. Don't get a look in as much,
Yeah, like the Terminators. Well, a lot of their special units are the
Terminators, yeah.
and they just aren't as good, right?
Terminators. So,
Mm.
whereas the Space Wolf stuff is fast, zoomy.
And it's also
It's combat stuff.
a pretty fast codex, which is really solid as well. But generally a little bit uninspired. Apart from I love the idea of running 3 Rune Priests because it's just cool, right? Like, and that's for me. But I think overall I feel a little bit underwhelmed by it.
Oh, that's fine, man. I'm enjoying it, so I'm whatever you guys want to do. But
It's just I don't know. I just feel like things like maybe to be fair, Space Wolves as a concept are a pretty on the nose concept, right? So I don't know why we'd be looking for any you wouldn't be looking for kind of like the maybe nuance that you maybe would find in a Harlequin Codex from this.
Yeah.
And then also maybe we've been spoiled with codexes, and I feel a little bit like, oh, right, I just get one special ability. I don't get to pick from 6 different special abilities. That's a bit.
Well, this is kind of a similar thing with. So when you take things like Harlequins, you're very much able to customize your forces. You've got like these types of Harlequins or these types of Harlequins.
Yes.
Whereas these are like Space Wolves, Blood Angels, Dark Angels are like doing a codex for a Laytok, I guess. So it's like this is how it plays. It's a bit more. Obviously, we've fleshed out the background for it more, so you can go take these special units that are only available to this one and just run with it. And therefore, it push it into a one-dimensional space,
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah. That's. I guess that's where I feel.
Yeah.
Which is also like the argument I think a lot of people feel for things like being able to have different Imperial detachments,
Yes.
because you do want to take You know, like, yeah, you really want your good combat space wolves, but then that would also be cool to have your Dark Angels with good shooters.
Because there's one faction.
Yeah, like, but the Longfangs are pretty decent.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, nice. I like that the models that seem the most characterful, like the Thunderwolves and the Wolfen, are the models that have got the most love, it seems, or they seem to be the most competitive, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me really happy.
Are you gonna have some silver Wolven?
Potentially. Yeah. Yeah, sprayed silver with some black, some
Black
silver
shoulder
wolfen
pads.
in my
They're
ever
mostly
increasing.
naked. They're mostly naked. So
Exactly. L. Coopster says at the end of the day, it's still Power Armor Codex, and Power Armor isn't that well balanced. I got to say, L. Coopster, my thoughts are at the top of the show, if you weren't here, was that I think Power Armor is actually, because of the general infighting between powerful stuff in the meta, is generally okay, especially when done right. If it's things like Devastator squads in cover, I think that's Power Armor done right, personally. But if it's Power Armor just stood out in the field with its dick in it,
if it's 10 Marines in the middle of nowhere with a missile launcher and a flamer, then
I'm
it's
not
doing
about
very
that
well.
life.
No.
I'm not about that life at all.
No.
And also, you know, there might be a really decent delivery system for like the Wolfen that we haven't really
That flyer thing and outflanks.
And I mean, why do I want to go for a big unit of 10? Maybe that unit of
Maybe five will kill anything.
maybe
hit
five
anyway.
in a Rhino is absolutely fine.
I actually like it's like a bit slightly bigger unit of Wolfen
because they've got a 40mm base size. So if you charge a transport with the Wolfen, you can easily lock it down so people can't fall out of it.
Yeah, but like there aren't many transports that can survive 8 Wolfen hitting the fuck out of them.
No, but it's more a case of you take the extra Wolfen not necessarily to make sure it dies, but to make sure the guys inside die. So if you take like transport, 2 here, 1 there, 1 there, you box the entire thing.
And then you kill the thing, and then they all die.
Inside. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's a good point.
There needs to be a name for that in our glossary.
The box smash.
I feel like it'd be rude.
Greco, being in and out of the show, they didn't like any Primaris units in Space Wolves. It's not that they aren't good in Space Wolves, necessarily, although in some cases they really aren't.
Yeah.
It's just that some of the Primaris units, like they're generic, so you really play to their strengths. Like Hellblasters, Dark Angels.
Unless you have something like a stratagem that works well with Primaris Marines, specifically within this book, as opposed to the other books. It's not really worth talking about.
I think the only unit I'd maybe consider is the Reavers, just because they have combat attacks. And you can go. I'm stretching at that.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Well, the ability to outflank as well.
Just because it's one of the only units that would maybe benefit from the +1 to hit rule.
What about the Inceptors?
Yeah, you mean the Aggressors?
Aggressors, sorry, with the Hellstorm Bolters.
Well, Aggressors are always kind of like decent.
They are just decent, right?
Yeah.
But they're better in an Imperial Fist army than they are in this army.
Or a Raven Guard army or an Ultramarine army.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's not that they're not good in this army if you want to pick them up. Like, if you're already a Space Wolf player and you want to pick them up, it's more just like you look at the book and you go, right, what stands out as kind of in our, not like even top tier, just kind of like these fluidly work with the other elements of the book.
Aggressors aren't even terrible because they have the close combat weapons, which are -1 to hit. You counteract that with Space Wolves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can still hit reasonably well with these things and then fight again. And then it's a real shame. That stratagem I was talking about, where it allowed you to fire your bolt guns as if in close combat as if they were pistol 2. If only you had something similar for the aggressors. You're in combat and just going, just hosing things. Then maybe we're talking, but they don't. So
well, I've enjoyed it personally. Like I'm well up for fighting a bunch of Wolfen.
We'll do it on stream.
I also imagine I'm going to be scared shitless as Wolfen come charging at me, and ways of dealing with them are not fun. Although I love the idea of having my Solitaire being like, you can attack me, but you're going to miss every single attack.
Unless you're Orcs.
Huh?
Unless you're Orcs.
Unless you're Orcs, and then you can just mortal wound yourself to death anyway.
Oh, right, sorry.
Yeah. They pose an interesting challenge. I think the Wolfen and potentially the Thundercav. I think the Rune Priest also pose a challenge as well. You might see some real strong psychic stuff.
Yeah.
And did someone say Orcs? We all said Orcs.
Did we say Orcs? Oh, now I said it.
You're listening to three people that have been waiting a year for the Orc Codex, so we can rename the channel the Orc Channel.
Yeah.
If the chat isn't spamming Roblins the entire time, we'll talk about it.
Nikos and Tom, can I just say thank you both for doing the show?
Thank you for having me.
Anyone, a shout out you want to make to anyone? Anything like that?
Well, if you're still here, I'm going to shout out to Canhammer Darren because they gave us a shout out on their latest podcast.
Did they?
There you go.
Yeah.
What a fucking bunch of legends. I'm going to listen to that.
Thanks,
Well
man.
done, Canhammer Darren. Thank you. Tom?
No.
No?
Nobody.
Well, our shout out. Goodbye to everyone on the podcast, and obviously thank you to everyone on Patreon or Twitch who helps us keep the show going. In fact, making us as successful as we are hopefully going to be. Loads of live coverage very soon, and what we're going to do. So goodbye to everyone on the podcast.
Bye.
But everyone on the show, that's right, we are going for a raid.
Spam some Roblins.
Coming in hot.
Raid.
Coming in hot.
Everybody get ready. So all we do.
How many people get back?
There we go. We're all going. So at the top, if you click that,
in.
join the raid, and just when you get there,
Shit, where's it
spam a bunch of Roblins.
As many Roblins as you
I
can.
want to say thank you everyone on the show, everyone who's been watching. You guys are fantastic. It's brilliant being able to do this. Thank you to you guys. It's brilliant being able to
Anytime,
do
I
it.
just want to watch his raid.
Where is it? I don't know where it is.
Yeah, obviously be
Oh,
I don't know.
25 raiders so far.
I'll just do it anyway.
Yeah,
just be
Oh,
honest.
that's leave.
Whatever you want to do.
Oh, wait,
That says leave, right?
it leaves automatically. Okay. Right, get ready to drop some Roblins now. Go.
Oh no, where's the
Oh, click all. I'm a master of Twitch chat. Okay.
Alexander
There you
Bell's running a really interesting
Go.
Italian guard detachments to get bodies on the ground.
Alright, I'm coming around to see Robs.
They are Valhallan. Not sure why.
This is what happens when they let you...
It's alright!
Keep going.
Anyways, it's help us out, Jack. Squads with mortars.
Oh, look.
One unit of 23
morale. They have morale, they have the old console.
That was brilliant.
He's running a super heavy detachment of a deficit.
Is Dan on football on the Twitch
No,
chat?
he's not.
A super heavy detachment of a Knight Castellan with 2
God, this is boring.
Ask him if Nick Rose is still in.
Yep.
Okay, don't. I'll ask Nick Rose if Nick Rose is still in.
And a bunch of guardsmen.
Is Nick Anavali still in?
And you've got Brandon Grant's list, which he's changed up since the BAO.
Has it?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, he's got the Castellan in there now.
Oh, instead of Shadow Sword.
Instead of the Shadow Sword, so Brandon Grant has switched it up.
Same.
There's a Primaris Psyker.
No one's chatting, so it's just Roblins all everywhere.
He's got an Astropath, a Minnesota Priest, and the Priest is in there to give the Bullgrim the extra attack. So then he has a 9-man unit of Bullgrim, 5 slash.